Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to the WrestlePurists podcast, episode 46, coming up to 50. When we get to 50, we're gonna have to get back up Hangman to show his face on camera or something. We need to do something special. 50 podcasts seems like a lot, but you know, we got there. Obviously, one of the first things some people might notice, AO hasn't been able to make it just yet. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to come in, but something important came up, and yeah, unfortunately, AO isn't here right now. We're going to have a few people dropping in and out throughout this, probably, because that's kind of how these things work. People just kind of hop in and out of them. But to start with, I am with the returning Isra, Big Draw. How you doing?
I'm all right. It's been, holy shit, I was just like checking like the archives, and it's been 3 months since I've like done the Thursday episode. I did pop in after Clash at the Castle, but like it's been a minute since.
Yeah, that was like a special one.
That was a special one. Listen, when I first joined, I'm not about to do too much, but when I first joined, let me tell you, it was like, I don't want to toot my horn or nothing, but this page kind of started booming after. So you're welcome. But I'm always happy to be here. I love you guys. We always have like a lot of fun. So happy to be back.
Yeah, man. Like I said, you always draw a good house. You know, you've got fans. The people love you. You know. I'm also joined with Chris O'Bread, as some of you may know. He did have a really good bit planned before we went live, but it was kind of it didn't happen for us.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Chris, how you doing?
I'm cool. I'm chilling.
He's chilling too. But yeah,
it's just another day for Chris.
Yeah, hopefully next week we can we can pull it off or something. But yeah, if everyone can like, subscribe, super chats, obviously if you're feeling generous, then much appreciated. But make sure please like, and if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and do that. But yeah, to start off with, we normally go through the news and stuff. But to be fair, over the past day, there hasn't been that much news. Other than there's been a kind of like a lot of talk about something Wade Keller said on his podcast, and basically what it is you know, it's pretty much expected that CM Punk is going to get, you know, he's wrestled his last match for AEW now, and it's looking like he could be getting a payout from his contract, basically, and yeah, like I said, the report is pretty much that it's expected that CM Punk's gone. Obviously, it's speculation. It's nothing that's completely confirmed yet. But as more and more people talk about it, who have spoke to people involved or whatever, it seems more and more likely that Punk might be done with AEW. So, see, Idra's got a small smirk on her face. So I'll go to you with this one. I know you're absolutely devastated that CM Punk is leaving AEW. But,
oh no, nah. I don't even drink, but like I'll like pop a bottle as soon as I hear the news that he's the fuck out of here.
Why?
Listen, it is what it is. Like you can't be a toxic cancer to the locker room and to your coworkers and to your EVPs and letting your company look stupid, making yourself look stupid, and then expect me to feel sorry for you when now your whole career over, like you did that to yourself. Like karma didn't even have to like get him. He caused his own downfall, and it's nothing I could do for him, unfortunately. Even if I had the power to help him, I would simply not. So my condolences to all CM Punk fans. I know you're going through a really hard time right now. Summer of Punk was a little chilly. I'm so sorry about that.
But that sounds like a rehearsed bar that you had.
It really wasn't. It's off the dome every single time.
Damn, you're cutting deep.
You don't hear bars like this on WrestlePurists unless I'm here.
Yeah, factual. They're cutting deep though, man. You know, I'm a big fan of Pepsi Phil. You know, it's we got a year out of him. It seems. Well, 9 months, because obviously he was out for like 3 months injured. So, you know, it was fun while it lasted. I guess. You know, it's Chris, I know you're also a huge fan of CM Punk. If you're still there, have you got any takes on CM Punk reportedly, expected to be out?
My bad. I forgot to let my dog in. That's what I was doing. I was letting my dog in the house.
Did you hear me?
Yeah. I'm gonna turn my camera on soon, but it sucks. CM Punk is like my favorite childhood wrestler. He's kind of the reason I started watching wrestling, and I was happy to see him in the company. I'm not one of these people who are gonna like dismiss his run. His run was great. Had some great feuds, some great matches. But it is disappointing in a sense that we didn't get the matches that would be the biggest matches. We didn't get Punk versus Omega. We didn't get Punk versus Danielson. We didn't get a lot of matches that we could have got. We didn't get Punk versus Okada or Punk versus Tanahashi because he got hurt. It sucks, but he brought this on himself, wanting to be a cancer to the locker room, kind of like everywhere he goes. And the Elite are not at fault. I won't be like one of them. The Elite, they have a part in this, but there's a reason why I would not be mad if the Elite got fired, because they could go to WWE and make more money, do all this. Punk
that couple of days when the books to WWE rumors were flying around, you was preparing yourself to be a Fed stan.
All entertainment wrestling.
I was preparing.
That would have I can't lie, there was a small part of me that was like hoping it would kind of happen, just to see kind of like people's reactions to it. Because so many people would be switching teams, because that's how some of these people look at it, man. Like, it's not too many people. It feels like Twitter anyway. There's not that many people who legitimately like and watch both companies,
Unless
so yeah, that would. Yeah.
But can you imagine like the Young Bucks versus the Street Profits?
It'd be a great match.
Or like Young Bucks. Honestly, I know y'all don't act like me too good for the Usos, but the Young Bucks versus the Usos could be like a generational match, especially with like the way that both of their fans go so hard for them being like the best tag team. I would really want to see that. I'm not gonna lie.
I got love for the Usos. I know a lot of our friends kind of kick the shit out of them. Especially when they get compared to like the Young Bucks and stuff. I probably wouldn't put them on that like elite tier, the same tier that I put the Bucks, Briscoes, FTR, which I know some people.
I mean, they're better than FTR.
You said the Usos are better than FTR.
I don't think people think I don't like FTR because they don't like the Young Bucks, but I just don't see it with them. When's the last great match?
Oh, bro, they hardly get the chance to have tag matches anymore, to be honest. So
not even just tag. It's like any match they've been a part of, like singles, all that.
Well, they had the second Briscoes match not that long ago. They've had a hell of a year, man.
Since that Briscoes match, the Bucks have had three matches I've called great. And the Usos, maybe they're not. Maybe the Usos are worse than FTR. Maybe I'm just like, the hate is filling my eyes, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't see it with FTR. And we're gonna talk about it on Dynamite. I don't know. Other than wrestling, what about FTR is appealing? Like, they're not great
pro wrestling. It's pro wrestling, and they're good at pro wrestling.
My hot take is that they peaked in NXT Black and Gold.
You think?
They just look like superstars, and then it kind of felt like, and mind you, I didn't fully follow their career after they left WWE, besides like what I've seen with AEW, but it kind of just seems like they was riding off the Young Bucks coattail, because they literally made up their name, didn't they?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The first half of this year, FTR were, they were kind of on fire, I think that was pretty much the consensus, to be honest.
My apologies.
Yeah, they're a great tag team, man. Everyone was calling them the best tag in the world not that long ago, and it's been a weird few months with them, because ever since they hit a really strong stride, kind of it was like a few months ago, 3-4 months ago. Then like since they got to the point where they felt hotter than ever, they were getting some of the loudest reactions on any show, to be honest. And then like we've hardly seen them actually wrestle tag matches that much. It's been weird, man. It's been weird. I don't know what's going on, but if anyone wants to pull it up, like the last time they had like a big tag match 2-on-2 was
probably the Briscoes.
When was it? Yeah, it was the Briscoes one, which was in July. Then if you look at the amount of tag matches they've had on AEW ever since when was the first Briscoes match? They haven't had that many. They had the Young Bucks match, like after that week, because they had that crazy week when they wrestled the Bucks and Briscoes. Ever since that week, when, like I said, they were hotter than ever, they haven't had that many tag matches, to be honest, when you consider they were like literally one of the hottest acts in wrestling. It's been weird, man. Like, I know you two aren't like the biggest fans of them, but like just looking at it from a perspective of how popular they got themselves and how over they were at that point, it has been weird to see kind of them not be able to, do more with it. It's kind of like they weren't even on the show last night, which is
they were on the show, but they weren't wrestling.
Yeah, it was a pre-tape.
Not getting booked.
Yeah, they got caught.
They
got schooled. They got schooled by the Gun Club. And but yeah, when you
can't be the best tag team getting scorned by the fucking Gun Club.
Well, it was. I guess it was.
It was by design. They just took that too. They just took that disrespect.
I think. Yes, boys. I don't know why they're not getting. Because Tony loves the fucking FTR. So I have no idea why they're not getting booked.
He literally said the other day, he was just like, he said they're one of my favorite tag teams ever. That's what he said. Which kind of caught me off guard, to be honest. Because like I said, that he's ever since they were like hotter than ever, they've hardly, been able to do much, to be honest. So, they've got the United Empire match coming up soon. So that'll probably be their next, big match where they can really, go for it, But yeah, man, it's weird. Obviously, Punk is it looks like he's on the way out. And news-wise, I don't think there's really anything else that's came up, is there? Unless anyone else can think of anything. But we'll just jump straight into AEW Dynamite, where we've got a new Ring of Honor World Champion in Chris Jericho. In a few days ago, this probably would have shocked me until I really thought it through, and a few people pointed it out to me, like that it could definitely be Chris Jericho's moment last night, because it would have made more sense for Jericho versus Claudio to be on the Rampage show when you really think about it. But the fact that it was on Dynamite really kind of like, once it was pointed out to me, it really, I wouldn't say worried, because the fact that Chris Jericho's the Ring of Honor champions actually popped me quite a bit. I get why some people are kind of mad about like Claudio losing and, just the idea of Chris Jericho being a Ring of Honor champion, but, it's fun. But what did you think of the match, Chris?
I thought the match was like maybe my third favorite match on the show. I thought it was like pretty good. I think Jericho on Dynamite's put on some like legit some of the best matches of his career. I don't think this is one of the best matches of his career, but like just recently on Dynamite, he's been putting on some great matches. I like that the way he won. If you like notice in the beginning of the match, the commentators were talking about Code of Honor and how Ring of Honor Championship stands for, purity of pro wrestling and stuff like that. And then Jericho just cheats to win. And I thought it was funny. I thought it was like, good storytelling. I mean, I really like Jericho. I know people don't like him because of his political opinions and, they think he doesn't put people over.
The
Ocho 8. But Chris Jericho is legit top 10 wrestlers, dead or alive. And like you can say he's not. Like people can like Puro fans hate Chris Jericho for some reason. I don't know why. they hate Chris Jericho, but he's one of the best of all time, and I don't have a problem with people saying they're disappointed with Claudio losing to Jericho. That's fine, but to say it's a dumb decision is not right, because what Jericho winning means to me is like, oh, they got the ROH deal for TV, so they want someone, you know, really recognizable. I'm not saying Claudio's like not recognizable, but he's not as mainstream as Chris Jericho is. So
yeah, of course not.
You know, I thought it was a smart decision. I wouldn't mind Claudio winning it back at the next pay-per-view, or even though I think he's going to go in a different direction. But I thought the match was really good.
Yeah, it was good bit of business, you know. Isra, what was your takeaways from Chris Jericho becoming the new Ring of Honor World Champion?
I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not mad at it, because there's a chance that Claudio could get it back. And at the same time, it's like, when I see someone wrestling an old head and they lose to them, like, so, like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, you lost to a legend.
Yeah, some people get really mad at it. Yeah.
And, like, on top of that, I think, like, it kind of adds to, like, the tension, I guess, between
definitely
JS and Garcia, because Garcia is a square now, and he don't fuck with, like, cheating and being dirty, even though that used to be his bag. I don't know what happened. I personally would be happy you got 2 belts on your team. Like, what are you sad about? But I did like the tension. I thought that it was like
yeah, it played well, you know.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like Chris said, ROH is gonna be like showcased on TV now. So you want someone that can make the belt look prestigious. And that's not to say that Claudio can't make it look prestigious, but it's Jericho.
Yeah.
Like top like I agree with Chris that he's like top 10 all time. So it's like, it's really not that big of a deal to me. I think people just have an issue with it because they probably think he's old and he's washed, and like he like fluctuates from being really fat and like being fit. I don't know how he do that, but but he's an interesting guy. Okay, like it's not that deep at the end of the day. It is like another achievement for him because he never had that world title. So now it seems, I don't know if this is like factually true, but isn't it the case that now he's had like all the major world title belts from like every
pretty much. I think he's held pretty much everything except for Impact.
Yeah, and like honestly, he's old. Like he's got to go out looking like tough. So I'm not mad at it. And the match was really good.
Yeah, it was real fun. It was real fun. And you know, there's some really cool spots in it, like the suplex to the outside, suplexes on the apron, and you know what killed me when Chris Jericho got given the belt, and it was like he tried to like play it up like he was really emotional, and it. You know that belt don't really mean you know what he was trying to portray there. But yeah, it was a fun match. It was a good match. Of course it was Jericho and Claudio. And to what Chris was saying earlier about Jericho, like just kind of just being great lately and having some of his best matches on Dynamite. The match with Moxley was genuinely one of the best matches he's probably ever had on TV. So was the Danielson one, another great match. The match that he had with Kingston on pay-per-view, genuinely one of his best ever matches he's had. He's had genuinely some of the best ever matches he's had in his whole career this year. Jericho's a man. I get, like I was saying earlier, I get why some people might be mad that Claudio's dropped the belt. But to what Chris was just saying, it might mean that they've got an ROH TV deal on the way. I think it's either that or it's kind of like the last attempt at trying to get one, you know? It's been like, yeah, we got Jericho, give us a deal. But either way, it's quite easy to see that this might be something to do with a TV deal, whether that's trying to get one or if they've already got one. And, you know, Jericho's... I'm never really going to be too mad at Jericho beating someone, you know? It's Chris Jericho. He's great, man. But yeah, he's that's another belt to add to his collection, and yeah, man. Some people, I'm sure it'll probably lead to a Daniel Garcia match. To be honest, because like Israel was saying, Garcia didn't look too happy about it last night because obviously Jericho cheated to win the Ring of Honor.
I'm not gonna lie to you, the finish. I'm kind of over the low blow finishes. And before y'all start, I know Seth does it too. I'm saying it's kind of like. at this point, I feel like it's been done a lot. I don't know if I'm tripping, but it feels like these low blow finishes have been happening like way too much for me. And it's
Jericho
like, it's
loves
so
a
much
low
better
blow.
ways to cheat. I don't know.
He loves them. Jericho does love a low blow. I don't know, man. It always, when I did a podcast yesterday before the show started, and I predicted what happened was going to happen pretty much. That Jericho was going to actually win the match, and he was going to cheat to win, and Garcia would be unhappy about it, and that would be kind of like how they wrap that sort of thing up. But it's just like even when they done like the cheat finish, it's like Claudio flipped out from that move with Jericho, but he landed so perfectly, he didn't actually stumble. So he had to like force himself to stumble into Aubrey into the corner, and then they could do the low blow. So even the execution was a little bit awkward. Because Israel's on screen, we haven't got her to moderate the chat. We have Gareth has arrived.
No, I don't know how to do
WWE
it.
Gareth. WWE Gareth arrived in the live chat. He didn't say anything racist this time though. But
he just said AEW will fail over and over again.
That's what he does. It's
that's cool, man.
Is this like a spell? Like, is he doing witchcraft in here?
He gets blocked every time, and apparently he's got like 10 accounts. But I feel like we've blocked at least 10 accounts called WWE Gareth now. So I don't know what's happening, but he keeps showing up on any sort of streams that talk about AEW. I've seen him on AEW's live channel talking shit. So we've got a couple super chats that we should probably get.
He said he's manifesting.
See, look at this. This feels like one for Chris and Israel. 199 from the custodian, Brian Pillman Jr. FDR of the Dirties locker room backstage. Appreciate the super chat, but don't appreciate the slander. Young Dende 499. Jericho got to have blackmail on TK the way he gets booked. I don't know, man.
He's just a legend.
It's Jericho, like it's what can you do?
No, I think people forget that Tony Khan is like a mark. Probably like idolized Jericho for a long ass time. So
yeah, Jericho's he's the man. Like I said, he's had some of his best matches this year as well. So it's not like he doesn't fill the role in these main events and feature feuds. There was especially when he was still a face, like before the JAS stuff, there was a couple months where it was getting really touch and go, where like more and more people were calling him washed and stuff like that. I think he was just kind of running out of ideas as a face, yeah. Then as soon as the Jericho Appreciation Society started, everyone pretty unanimously loved the guy again, and he's doing great work. And like I said, he's had some great matches as well. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think TK is too crazy with it. He's been featured quite a lot, even more so than normal recently, because obviously the injuries to Punk, and obviously all the suspensions and stuff like that. So
really, yeah.
Well, it seems like they're going to get freed soon. So
if that report is true of how long they're suspended, I'm not going to be watching AEW.
Which report?
The one where it said they're suspended.
Chris, you sound like a robot.
Like until November. They're the end of November or something like that.
You was breaking up, bro. We're losing him. We're losing him, Israel.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I have no idea what happened. My screen just went black. But
Chris is always the man with technical difficulties, man. It's always. Let me just quickly get through this super chat. So, Bam, $5. Chris Money, Israel, greater than Pepsi Man, bald one with hair. Tomatoes for back off. Flame emoji for AO. How would you all bring the elite back in? Great work all round. Thank you, Bam. We appreciate it very much. Again, guys, if you want to send in the super chats, just we'll get to them when we can. Chris, how would you bring the elite back in when they come back? If they come back.
I would do it two ways. One, I just have Death Triangle trios. They just win a big trios match on Dynamite, and then the Elite can just show up. But if they want to get creative, depending on if they really want to get creative, right? I don't think Mox versus MJF will be at Full Gear. I want them to just do another Moxley versus Omega match at Full Gear, where Omega beats Moxley, and then it's MJF versus Omega match that we haven't seen.
Look at this piece of shit. every time
I can't see
he's
without my glasses, so like my face is way too far from my laptop screen. But like I'm trying to take care of this guy. So if I'm slow, it's because I can't see.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Where's Hangman's fine ass Miss? Get the fuck off my phone.
You know what? We don't know where he is actually. He said he did actually say not long ago that he was going to come in.
His comment off.
See,
that's him.
Super chat.
Is that not him?
Is that not? How do you know? You know what? It's not him. We'll just pretend it's not. That's what we're gonna do. What was next on Dynamite? Let's get through this episode of Dynamite, man. All right, so
the match.
Jericho is honor. I honestly think they're probably going to build to Daniel Garcia versus Jericho on the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view. That's probably where
both the belts.
Yeah, so something like that. I can see this really. It's either going to end with Garcia versus Jericho, whether Garcia drops a pure title first, or or vice versa, or to do a unification belt. Or
yeah, we need more of those.
I don't think Claudio will win it back. I just can't see it. I think
Claudio and you are going for the ROH titles. They set that up at the last pay-per-view, the Scrum. So.
They did set it up, and they done the whole they came out and FTR raised the belts to them and all that sort of stuff, but they haven't really done much with it since. They did do Claudio versus Dax, but it's not like that felt like they were building towards the tag match. You know what I mean? Like it was just they just had a match. They just had a good match on TV.
When's the next ROH pay-per-view?
Final Battle, which is normally in. Let me Google this right now. Final Battle, Ring of Honor. Why is Israel saying no? What am I missing?
It's just what's up?
What's up,
First of all, wait, is my voice lagging? Is my
Nah, you're fine. You're good to go.
Okay, because y'all were lagging for a second. I was like,
oh no. We're professionals, we try our best.
oh my god.
There's usually we have some technical difficulties sometimes, but we try our best. How is this guy back?
It's multiple.
You gotta tell these people don't tell me when you see it. People just say, "Oh my god!" Like he's back. I mean, part of me respects the consistency, just not the racism.
Have y'all noticed the new gimmick I've brought up as backup?
Ibrahim and
What's the gimmick?
Just a fan of the podcaster in wrestling. Backup Hangman, great podcaster, ridiculously handsome. Well, if that's what you think, brother.
Comments on the screen. He's not even sending us super chats.
For real?
Yeah, Mr. Niang. Next time you want your comment pulled, you gotta send in a super chat. We want your money. What is
I did a backup gimmick, but no one's noticed yet.
See, people catching on now. They know who it is. Right, so next thing in Dynamite, this is meant to be a wrestling podcast, not a Backup Hangman podcast, Yeah, so obviously Jericho.
But continue.
The Jericho Appreciation Society all came out, celebrated with Jericho. Daniel Garcia didn't look too happy, but they didn't do anything overtly obvious. You know, it's not like they were pushing each other or anything like that. But yeah, Garcia didn't look too happy. The next match was the tag title match, Swerve and Our Glory versus the Acclaimed, and they pretty much picked up where they left off on pay-per-view, to be honest. At the end, it probably could have got wrapped up a little bit earlier. I feel like they may have passed their peak in the match. But it was still a really good match, and like I said, they picked up exactly where they left off on the pay-per-view. So, man, new tag champs, Acclaimed. The result most people expected. I was one of the weirdos who thought Swerve and Our Glory was actually going to win the match. Probably not my finest pick, but yeah, man, it was a good match. It was a lot of fun. Billy Gunn got involved, hit a famouser on Swerve. Swerve came out with Fabulous and DJ Ukid. So
no, Acclaimed came out with DJ Ukid. Acclaimed came out with DJ Ukid.
Oh shit! See, it's because I watch it so late, man. I mess up my shit. Got another super chat before I'll get your takes on the tag titles. Bam. Also, Israel and all of the women in WrestlePurists are beautiful. So that burner account yesterday is blind. The guys are handsome and even back up with the tomato.
Thank you.
There's a lot of drama on Twitter last night, wasn't there?
It was a lot.
It was a lot. We'll probably touch on it a bit later. But yeah, man. AEW Dynamite. We're meant to be doing a review. Chris, what did you think of the tag title match, bro?
I thought the match was really good. Not as good as a pay-per-view match. Acclaimed, like, getting over is one of the, it's like crazy because they started from just a dark jobber team to people don't remember their first tag match on AEW was against the Young Bucks for the tag team titles. They've lost those titles. They've had so many tag matches for the titles, and they've lost I think they've lost 5 times. The match was good. I love all the rappers, coming out with Swerve and the Acclaimed. There was a lot of black representation on the show tonight with rappers and media stars and stuff like that. What else? And I want to say this. I know people say this a lot where, Triple H and Vince McMahon, they really missed the opportunity with this guy. But they really missed the opportunity with Swerve Strickland. Because I know Swerve and Triple H don't have the best relationship. They were talking about that. But I feel like Swerve is a generational talent. He has the charisma. He can work in ring. He has great promo skills. He has a certain look to him. It's he's a cool looking dude. His attires are always on point. He can work his ass off. It's just how do you mess up on? Well, how do you not give him a chance? They put him with Hit Row and all that, but why not give him this solo run? Because he can do it. He showed the charisma. He showed all this. Triple H is supposed to be this work rate mark, and Swerve is a top tier worker. It's I don't know. I think it's gonna come back to haunt Triple H and higher ups in WWE that this dude showing all this, they didn't give him a chance.
Yeah, that's the thing. He didn't really get
a program with him and Roman. He doesn't have to win. Him would have been must see TV. Oh shit, it would have been must see TV. I hope he does bigger and better things. I'm guessing him and Keith Lee might break up or something. I don't expect him to be a tag guy going forward right now. So I'm excited to see what he does. He's great. The match was really good. Happy for the Acclaimed. Billy Gunn getting a pop in 2022 is kind of crazy. Yeah. It was a good piece of business.
Yeah, it definitely was. Swerve is definitely... WWE just didn't get it, They didn't get it. Could you imagine Swerve trying to convince Vince to let him bring Kevin Gates with him or something. Like, it's the thing with Swerve is that he actually gets like, I don't know if cool's the word without being too cliche about it. Like people who, some of the people that he brings through isn't like the typical like wrestling celebrity.
Yeah.
Like you can tell.
Like, bro, people have been saying this a lot, and I agree. Like, since Swerve's came to AEW, like, I'm not talking about like wrestlers, black wrestlers on a show, but the representation from other forms of media that has been brought into AEW, most of it is because of Swerve. Like, he has these connections, he's made these connections, out of wrestling that helps him in wrestling. So, like, he deserves a lot of credit. Not all credit, because there's other people involved, but he deserves a lot of credit for, bringing some of this culture, black culture, hip hop culture to AEW, and it's great.
Israel, what did the bad bitches group chats think of Swerve?
I'm not.
That's what we need to know.
I just make the calls.
Oh
no! It's just my say so. I thought it was. I think it's dope that you can just have people like be a part of the program without making them like an attraction, basically. So like you can just have wrestlers come in, do entrances, do performances, whatever the case might be, and it's not like it doesn't have to be like a whole big thing. So it kind of just seems like it's an environment where like pop culture or hip hop culture, whatever the case might be, it kind of just is a part of AEW. I just think it makes the show a lot more interesting because it's like you're gonna watch this week and be like, who's gonna show up now? Like it's become very common. Yeah. I still think Kevin Gates had the best appearance. They should have had him perform "Stick on Your Stomach" while he was there because that would have just made it perfect. But I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
bad bitches love Swerve. Bad bitches think Swerve is like a young black Shawn Michaels. He just has this superstar quality to him. And the way he carries himself and the way he talks and his gear and like his moveset and everything is like you just see a star with him. I don't typically like get in my feelings about wrestlers getting what's the word? Released from WWE. But I'm thinking like this is America's Next Top Model. But no, when they eliminated I got in my feelings. I'm like, this is literally a superstar in the making. You have so much nerve to not see the superstar that's like right in front of you.
Yeah.
Putting him with Hit Row is one thing because superstars, they always have like their breakout moments regardless. So and they like just worked and they were able to get themselves over in NXT 2.0 and whatever. But it just sucks that they didn't see the value in him because now like he's literally been having bangers every single week. So it's not.
Yeah, you don't really miss, to be honest.
From having Swerve.
You don't really miss, to be honest. I think, to be fair, so far his matches, especially the tag matches with Keith Lee, especially the multi-man matches, he's kind of like I think it'd be pretty fair to say that he's over-delivered in terms of like what people expected of him, who may have only been introduced to him when he was in WWE. So like a lot of people were familiar with him from the Indies, and they kind of knew more of what he was capable of. In WWE, it was kind of a weird run. He never really got like started properly. Like you'd get a little bit of something. Like he was chasing the Cruiserweight title for ages, didn't win it. Then he got Hit Row, didn't really get going the way that most people wanted him to with it. And yeah, man, it's been weird. Earlier when Israel was speaking, I said, "Oh no," it wasn't anything Israel said. We've now been joined by what the live chat is calling the Cody Rhodes of WrestlePurists, the Chris Jericho of WrestlePurists, and someone's called him the king. Someone called him the king.
Where he's overhyped and underdelivers. But continue.
Yeah, he's a divisive guy. Someone's called him the king. Another person's called him the SA man. Like I said, he's divisive, but Backup Hangman, he's here. He's surprising us. We wasn't expecting him tonight, but he's here. He was at Grand Slam Dynamite last night, and yeah, man, he's got the day off work, so he's popping in. How you doing, bro? Why does he do this every time, man? Why is he every time? No, let's play the soundtrack. we gotta get the tomatoes going.
Yeah. Let's get them back of payment comments. I see the love in the super. I see the love in the chat. Yeah.
You know what? It's like it's backhanded love. You know.
you know what it feels like to me. It feels like Kurt Angle's "You Suck." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you know, like they're going tomato, but really what they're saying is we love you and we're happy that you're here. You know, and I understand because I love all of you guys, especially the guys in the chat, and I'm glad you're all here to join me.
This is crazy, Heat.
Yeah, man. Listen,
it's not. This is more than
Daddy's home. I get it. My voice probably sounds crazy because you know, I was at a live wrestling show last night. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, man, we're good. We're just steadily going through this Dynamite review. Israel was just telling us how Swerve is for the bad bitches.
I can see that.
Yeah, man.
Yo, listen, man, you know, love of the game. I thought I was working today, ended up not working. And so what did I do? Did I go to a club? Did I go to a bar? Did I, you know, do other, you know, debaucherous things? No, I'm a wholesome man who loves the game so much. I shot straight home and hopped in the podcast because, you know what I'm saying, this is my spot. You know, you guys needed daddy. So yeah, listen, I'm happy to be here. I was at the show last night. It was a very interesting live experience. You know, they didn't do an extended taping of Dark and Dark Elevation like last time, which is good because you know, those things are kind of tedious to sit through. You know what I mean? And there were a lot of good things and a lot of interesting things. There was a concession stand fight that was fascinating.
How did that go? Well, I saw your tweet. You give it 3 3/4. Right? You give it 3 3/4 stars.
3 3/4. Yeah.
How did it go? What's the breakdown?
So I was online for some chicken tenders and waffle fries.
Yeah.
And $16. Israel's face. I was online for chicken tenders and waffle fries, and you know, I'm online and I'm talking to the concession stand worker, very nice lady, very nice sister, and we're having a conversation. And right behind me is a group of teenagers, and you know when kids are just trying to pop their friends, you know, by being stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was that type of thing because like one of them called her like a fat bitch or something along those lines. And in the middle of her conversation with me, she cuts it off to turn around and say, "Yo, listen, I don't know what you think this is. I don't know who you think this, you know, who you think you are, but like I'll hop this. I will hop this barrier and slap the shit out of you." You know, and she started cursing these kids out. And she said, "Who said it?" And nobody wanted to own up to it. And she said, "Nah, who said it? Who said it?" She wouldn't get off it. You know, and I laughed. I got to be honest with you guys. I gassed it. This really popped me. Like this really popped me. I was like, yeah. And you know, they got into it. You know, and they had security had to get involved and separate them. But I got to go 3 3/4 on that.
Yeah.
What did he say?
That's crazy.
I swear I disassociated that whole time.
This is crazy.
All I heard, he spent $16 on some fries.
Waffle fries,
you know,
and
like mentally, I'm like, I can't do this no more.
Listen.
Chris, where do you keep going?
My mom is watching.
Mm. Is she watching live? Like is she like listening like by you on off camera, or is she like watching the YouTube feed?
No, my house is so suspiciously quiet. I know she's watching it live.
That's
and
hilarious.
She heard you calling yourself daddy. She's gonna be like,
boy.
"Who's this man?"
Oh my
calling
god.
himself daddy.
Oh my god. Israel's family definitely can't stand me. But listen, yeah, I don't want to.
That's a fact. But continue.
Yeah, I don't want to. Hold on.
We lost him. He's doing something. Let's do some super chats. Let's kill this dead air. Parker, our good friend. We love Parker. He sent in $1.99 super chat and didn't actually say anything because you don't need to. Parker don't need to say nothing. Tomatoes for backup hangman from Bam. Appreciate the $2. Kimberly says Isra is a queen. Roman is the GOAT. Plus Hoy Chris.
Hello, Kimberly.
We love Kimberly.
Young Dundee, Keith Lee is a god amongst men, bask in his glory.
Was that the the Kimberly Israel of the Spaces?
The Kimberly.
Oh, that's awesome. Dende, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm sorry, guys. That was a bit of an unprofessional.
And we've got a $15 super chat from Tony L. Hope everyone is good. What was your favorite match yesterday night?
My favorite match wasn't aired yet.
Fair. Mine was probably the main event, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just by default, to be honest.
I'm
gonna jump around a little bit. Israel, what did you?
Whoa, why does this nigga get to come on this pod and like jump around and shit? No,
because it's mine.
Stick to the flow.
The thing, see, here's the thing, Chris. Here's what you got to understand: is the WrestlePurists podcast is bankrolled by Backup Hangman. It was creatively driven by Backup Hangman, and I basically own it, right? And so if I come in, I can essentially do whatever I want with this podcast. So now that we're of the understanding of this, Israel, what did you make of John Moxley doing the curb stomps?
The Shield lives on forever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to whoever wants Shield fans to shut the fuck up, but we never will. That's just never gonna happen. So you're gonna have to cope and see. So no, I loved his curb stomp. Moxley does it with like a lot of grit. Like when Seth does it, he adds, he adds like more height, he adds more bounce to it. It's more Broadway theater with Seth. But with Mox, he was like, I'm just gonna fucking stomp this man's head in. So I love the fact that he did it in his own style and he did it in his own way, and that the Shield will never fucking die. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
No, feel free to talk however you want to.
I'm not apologizing to you.
No, okay.
But no, I just loved how I lost my train of thought. Love it. I was personally an Ambrolin's girl. If you're a real Shield fan, then if you're a real bitch in general, you were out rooting for Ambrolins. So seeing Seth supporting Moxley, still seeing like Moxley doing like the curb stomp and like whatever the case might be, I think it's
so you don't buy into the people who are like it was a shot at Seth Rollins.
No.
Oh, of course not.
I don't think either of these men have anything against Seth. Like, I think it's the complete opposite, and they're probably like all besties still. Like Seth, I know, has a lot of respect and admiration for Danielson. He always talks about how Moxley is his wrestling soulmate. Moxley always talks about how Seth is his wrestling soulmate. So
they always say this thing when they get asked about the Shield, but it's like there's only 3 men who've ever been in the Shield. it's always
a unique brotherhood or something. Right?
The Shield, I don't know. I feel like because y'all know I don't really particularly care about men's wrestling as a whole, but the Shield in their prime was peak men's wrestling. Like everything about it, like people were literally getting into wrestling because of the Shield.
Our very own Anna.
They kind of saved WWE from its inevitable crash and burn. Because when I started watching WWE in 2014-15ish, we had like Ryback in main events. And like this man can't carry this company. Besides that, like we had the Shield that was actually bringing interest. Like they were like all over the show. So of course, how long has it been? Like damn near like a decade later, they're still going to be iconic, almost. Separate.
Is Chris eating watermelon?
Huh?
Is Chris eating watermelon?
What?
Yo, no, Chris, is that not watermelon?
No, I'm drinking my drink.
Pull that back on the camera. No. You had something else up. No. Put that back up. Nah, you're messing with me. You're eating watermelon, bro. Someone rewind. Someone confirm me in the chat.
You fucking racist?
I swear to God.
Bro, Hangman can't get through one episode of this shit without doing something wildly problematic.
Yo,
towards multiple communities. He hates women. Yeah. He hates his own. Like, what are we doing?
No, I
was eating a mango. If you want to see the mango,
that was a watermelon, bro. See, he had to turn it off to make. He had to swap. It's very well said. I love that breakdown of the Shield. I think you speak for a lot of people when you just talk about how they just define a certain era. And to me, even though I'm not one of these people who acts like a fangirl or like obviously not a shipper, whatever you want to say. In a weird way, I got it, Chris. It's a cute nod in the sense that like there's almost been very little confirmation in the last year or so that like Mox and Seth are still cool, because Mox is not a very expressive guy. You know what I mean? He's not like that type of dude. And so this was almost his own little subtle nod, like that's still my guy. You know what I mean? So
look at this. Bam, $5. Monty, please find the backup. Look what happened to TK when you let a diva have their way. Can we have a stopwatch for all Hangman speeches?
I haven't had a single speech, Bam, but I do thank you for the super chat. I thank you for your patronage. I thank you for your continued viewership of WrestlePurists that's driven by Backup Hangman. And what did you guys think of Jericho winning the Ring of Honor title? I know you guys talked about it. Just were you favorable in that decision?
I think all three of us were favorable.
Okay. And I'm sure everybody was willing to the Acclaim winning the tag titles, right?
Well,
oh my God! Nancy.
Oh, wait, what was the temperature like? Hold on, because you was there live. What was the temperature like when Jericho won?
Temperature in terms of like how people felt about it?
Yeah.
So check this out. My number one concern when that match started was I cannot be caught dead on camera singing Judas. So Jericho comes out and everybody stands, and I was like, yeah, I gotta just like look real suave right now. And so I made sure to like just not sing Judas. And people were so into Jericho. Everyone around me was just going crazy for this man. And during the match, like Claudio got his cheers. I tried to start when they did dueling chants, I was like the one guy in my section going, "Let's go, Claudio." But most people were rooting for Jericho. Yeah, most people were rooting for Jericho. And so when Jericho won, like everybody went nuts. I stayed in my seat. I was just like, damn, that's unfortunate. But yeah, everybody was super favorable. Even later on, Israel, Jericho did Rampage commentary, right? And for every single commercial break, someone in my section is trying to get Chris's attention because we're right by commentary. And so every commercial break, Chris, I love you. You're the GOAT. You can fuck my wife. Like literally, people were saying. I still know someone dead ass said
I know
that.
you're the one that said that.
I didn't say that. I don't. I'm not into that type of thing. But yeah, people loved Chris Jericho. Him, the Acclaimed, and MJF were the most beloved people last night.
Well, so everyone was into. You was asking about the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
He was asking about the Acclaimed when he went into Jericho.
Yeah. Why did you go into Jericho?
Isra asked, were they favorable for Jericho winning?
Yeah, like what was the crowd feeling?
Yeah, it was the temperature.
AEW fans love Jericho.
They love him.
Why are we surprised? They love Jericho.
They love Jericho. they love him so much. And the Acclaim, man, like the heat for Swerve was crazy. Like he had the second most heat on the show outside of Sammy Guevara, and you guys will see that Friday. Like people hated Sammy Guevara.
He was wrestling Eddie too.
Yeah.
What was the reaction like for Eddie?
He resurrected a tired and sleepy crowd.
That's what real wrestlers do, bro.
Yeah. People, you literally saw a bunch of people who looked half dead, and then Eddie Steen queued, and people were like, you saw like their body shoot up. And they're like, "Oh, it's Eddie Kingston." And everybody stood up. Yeah,
Eddie's all right. He's cool. I guess.
That's crazy.
Yeah, all right.
That's crazy.
He's a real wrestler.
Yeah.
Opinions, but
did you guys think the tag title match was as good as the pay-per-view one?
No, it wasn't as good as pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't as good, but I thought
the moment, right?
I thought at the start it started off really good, and they pretty much picked up where they left off on pay-per-view. I thought I think they could have shaved a couple of minutes off at the end. It felt like they kind of went past their peak, But it was good, man. It was good.
Billy Gunn being over in 2022 is like insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's because he's not saying too much dumb shit on podcasts.
Who?
Billy Gunn.
Oh wait, what did Chris say about Billy?
He said how he's still over in 2022. So.
Yeah, really, the key to being a 20+ year veteran and still being liked is really two things. Don't say too much on a podcast unless it's extremely complimentary of very popular modern wrestlers, and don't do anything that's going to be divisive booking wise. So Billy Gunn just hanging around, being with the Acclaimed and not going publicly saying the Young Bucks suck, and people are going to be like,
his kids.
Yeah, right. So that's the thing. Because if Billy was a guy with a podcast talking about, the Young Bucks are bad and then he'd get the same reaction as everybody else. But he closes his mouth. So that's the thing there. You guys gonna have to fill me in on any backstage segments that happened on the show because I saw none of them live.
Well, next up was a backstage segment where it was the Gun Club and FTR. FTR were in the middle of cutting the promo. Then the Gun Club just smoked. Yeah, then Gun Club interrupted them and just dunked.
Some niggas got smoked. No one did.
Oh my god!
Really? Like, are y'all gassing it just to like?
No, they smoked them.
Listen, Hanger, would I lie to you? But now, to be honest, I was kind of alluded to this earlier. It kind of felt like by design, Gun Club just kind of came up and just done a bunch of like corny jokes. And,
I don't believe this. Like, I don't.
Bro, it was great. It was only like a 1 minute segment. Yeah,
it was a 1 minute segment where they dunked on FTR while FTR stood there staring at them blankly. They didn't fight back. They didn't defend them. They just took a disrespect. And then Gun Club was basically like, we're like the much better versions of you. And like, you wish you could be booked. You wish you could be on, da-da-da. And then after they left FTR, I was like, that's real nice. Or some bullshit like that. They literally
they
got smoked.
Will you ever stop complaining?
Oh my God.
It was very much the vibe of like the annoying kids in the locker room coming up to them and just kind of dunking on them. And like the old guys kind of like rolling their eyes whilst taking it sort of vibe. I think that was kind of the thing they were going for. But like, in a vacuum, the Gun Club absolutely dunked on FTR in this segment.
It's very unfortunate to hear. I'm going to see for myself. And if I end up agreeing with you guys, I'm just going to say absolutely nothing on the timeline.
No, you're going to be like, oh, that was shambolic.
That was shambolic.
You're going to... You might cry yourself to sleep tonight. You see how bad they got cooked.
Is that one of my words? Is that one of my words? Is shambolic?
Yeah, everything's shambolic to you. Like,
this guy's got a word for everything, bro. Like,
do I?
you can't. Oh, bro, what? I'm not gonna remember. I won't be able to remember it now. But you said something that was just filth the other day, bro. It was like the simplest of things, and you just hangmaned it all up. It was
hangmaned it all up. Isra, her impressions of me frustrate me because she'll say something. I'm like, damn, I do that. Damn, it's like, damn. Yeah, I didn't watching live, right? We got no backstage segments. So
you didn't see Trina and Jade Cargill backstage?
Oh no. We did not get that. So
you're not a man of culture. That's why.
He's not a man. Even Cardi B posted it.
No, I'm saying no. I saw it like on Twitter when I was.
Oh no, I mean, did you see it like in general?
Oh no, yes, I saw it live, and her energy in that segment, even though she only said like 2-3 things, I was liking it. It felt like she was real comfortable in the setting. But yeah, watching live, they didn't do the backstage bits. In the past, like in previous Dynamite tapings, they would show the backstage segments like on the screen. This time they didn't really do that. Justin Roberts would just read our signs and like mess around and stuff like that. He did some of that. Tony Khan would kind of come out in between and just be like, "Hey, Dynamite, let's go!" Yeah, like he would just do that. He'd be like, "Coming up next, real exciting match. You want to get the energy up?"
Does he do that thing where it feels like when Tony Khan's like cutting a promo? Well, not a promo, but like when he addresses the crowd and shit, and he's all fired up and he's got the mic.
Yeah,
he does this thing when he's shouting into the mic. His voice sounds like he's like straining. Do you know what I mean?
He does that. He does that, and he like he like I don't know if you could picture this right because I'm not on camera, but like he'll stop his foot down, like we're gonna have a really good show, and like he'll just like to emphasize this stuff. Yeah.
He's an interesting character that TK.
I gotta be honest, the bitter side of me when he first came out, I wanted to chance CM Punk. I can't lie.
When who came out?
When Tony Khan came out, I wanted to chant Punk. Yeah.
Do you think the audience is gonna play AEW with CM Punk chants if he gets the boot?
If he gets fired, maybe. Right now,
I feel like they should do it. No, I don't think they should do it if Punk gets eliminated. I feel like they should do it if
eliminated.
Like he's getting eradicated off this earth. Like
no, I feel like the crowd should do it if they get rid of the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega. But if Punk gets the boot, it's like he kind of had it coming. Like everyone kind of sees it coming, and he would deserve it for sure.
Oh my God.
Anyone with common sense knows this, Hangman. But if they
hold on,
CM Punk is one of the greatest wrestling talents I've ever seen in my life, and regardless,
and you have no taste. So what does that say about him?
My taste is incredible. We're still going to do that debate podcast that you've been talking about, and when that comes, you're going to be exposed because your arguments for Seth Rollins are going to be shambolic. And I'm just
my arguments for CM Punk, they're gonna listen. All my takes are fucking genius.
About 80% of them. About 80%. I can't. You know what I'll say, yo, Israel, you're I really enjoy your women's wrestling takes because they're very they're not unique in this. Like if you talk to certain kinds of female fans, like they'll have these perspectives, but it's just that your perspectives sometimes get underrepresented in the wrestling Twitter bubbles that I tend to be in, right? And so because of that, I'll have a certain view of somebody, and then Israel will come in like a group chat, right, and be like, "She is the worst wrestler I've ever seen," and it's like, "Yo, oh my God," and it's the best.
The past 24 hours with Israel and Saraya has fucking popped me huge.
Yeah, when are we gonna get into that?
We'll get into it eventually, but I just want to quickly say, like, when the news first came out about like when Sean dropped that Fight for Select story, I think I've said that Saraya / Paige is a big star at least 30 times over the past fucking 2 days. Like whenever anybody asks me about her or whenever she comes up, I'm just like, yeah. Big star.
I mean, she has a whole movie about her.
Do you know that? Can I say something about Fighting with My Family right now, please?
You go on quick.
What was that all about? Like, what was that?
The Rock wanted to do something. The Rock got bored.
She was retired for like a year. Like the story was not accurate.
The Rock just wanted to have like a little passion project, and Paige didn't have shit else to do. So
yeah, I think it's that simple, bro.
Why was Zelina Vega playing AJ Lee? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch the movie, but Zelina, her performance hurt.
Florence Pure Play Paige.
Yeah, bro. She got real big after that movie.
Who?
Florence Pugh.
I didn't watch the movie. I don't know. I was gonna say Zelina did a really good impression of AJ Lee.
Oh my God, that means that's a very loaded comment, but yeah, I'm a nerd, right? And so when I watch like biopics, right, my whole thing is like this has to be accurate, right? And there's so many tropes in these types of movies that like it's just like that's just not how this happened. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I'm watching a movie and there's just so many inaccuracies that just drove me crazy. And I remember I had a friend who doesn't like wrestling at all, and he came and he's like, "Have you seen Fighting with My Family? It's so inspirational. It's so like, man, like I want to watch wrestling."
Friends do you have?
I have a lot of friends.
My sister was telling me about that movie. Yeah. She was like, "Have you ever heard of this girl Paige in wrestling?" And I was like,
"Well,
yeah."
He was talking about she made Paige sound like an orphan that like struggled her whole life, and she's like she had it so hard. Like she was getting dropped on her head when she was 12. I don't feel sorry for her.
Israel, this movie made it seem like she was in these streets, right? And then Rock just found her and was like, "Oh, you're really? a superstar." And she's just like, "What?" And like they act like NXT existed in like 2006 or some shit. Like it was just like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, like I was getting to when the news came up about it yesterday.
You kept saying big star and shit, right?
And we'd talk about it in the chat, and it was just like, nah. She was just like, nah. Then when she caught up with Dynamite last night, she was like, well, you know.
And I'm very interested to get into what caused her to feel that way watching the angle. We'll get to that. I'm gonna say real quick, Monty, before we get to the Orange Cassidy match, I've been also using Big Star has been my go-to as well, and it's my way of saying something objectively true without being mean, you know. So
yeah, I think
she's a big star.
We'll get to it. We'll serve it anyway.
Orange Cassidy pack. Anything?
No. Hold on.
Okay.
Slow down, son. Wheeler Yuta is interrupted by MJF. Israel said that she enjoyed this. So I'll throw it to you first.
I know exactly what she did. Go ahead, Israel.
MJF dunking on young Wheeler Yuta, pushing over Tony Schiavone.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah, man.
To say that Wheeler Yuta, like, how do I say this without sounding like a bitch? Listen, MJF smoked him. That's a fact. We know this. He said that there was this one line, and I'm so mad because when I was watching it, I was like, I'm gonna write out the transcript of this promo because I want to be ready for the podcast. But he said something like you graduated from like paint drying to like a rock or something like that.
Yeah, his personality.
Charisma. That popped me. He just dragged him. And then like Wheeler Yuta, like I felt like this was his moment to like really shine and like be like, yeah, I'm not the dork that everyone knows that I am. I could be tough. I could defend myself. And then what did he do? His first line was like, MJF, everybody. And I was like, this is about to be the corniest shit I ever heard in my life. This is so unfortunate. The thing about Wheeler Yuta is I really, really want to get behind him because he's a really good technical wrestler. And I feel like, you know, he's a little rough around the edges in terms of like character and charisma and appearance and, you know, mic work. And
she's naming everything.
But he could wrestle. He could wrestle for sure. Like, you know, my problem, I'm not going to lie to you. This man grew a beard and he still looks like a nerd. Like, some gotta shake. I don't know what he needs to do, but like something has to change. Like, move him to JAS. Have him and Garcia switch.
Israel, just keep it a stack because I've thought about this.
Shout out to Public Enemies.
Would you sure, shout out to Public Enemies. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Would you perceive him differently if he was the exact same, but he was like jacked out of his fucking mind?
No.
Okay.
No. That doesn't make a difference to me. Most of the wrestlers I like are smaller anyways, or like less conventionally big, I guess. So that doesn't make a difference to me. I think his physique is okay, and he can wrestle for sure.
You know what's funny?
I don't know. I'm the last person to like give him like a
advice.
I have a lot of advice I give him actually. Have him pull up to WrestlePurists podcast. We'll do a one-on-one 60-minute interview. Him and me. I'm gonna like straighten him the fuck out.
So you know what? Listen, if you catch a clip of this, and you very well may. Israel's giving you an open invitation. I'll turn that boy into
a man.
Wow.
In the interview.
Okay.
That's a crazy quote, bro.
If you're listening to the WrestlePurists podcast, Israel wants you to come on the podcast so that she can turn you into a man and give you an honest conversation on, you know, what you can maybe do to be more appealing to beautiful women who love wrestling. Yes. So there you go. Monty, when I saw this, my thought was, listen, I'm a fan of Wheeler Yuta. Question mark. Yeah, that was crazy. Israel's on a Rhea Ripley shit. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Wheeler Yuta fans, I'm sorry. He's not a bad guy, so I feel bad when I slander him.
I think he's talented. Listen, everyone has to come from somewhere. I think he's improving. He's on the pathway to becoming a really, really, you know, upper tier guy. My thought was he was not ready for this. You know, like I think it was almost a setup to just throw MJF at this guy. Like when MJF came out, I was like, oh my God, like this is gonna be tough. And it was for him. You know, Max got the hometown pop, absolutely destroyed him verbally. And it literally took assaulting Tony Schiavone to get heel heat. And it did work. Like when he showed Tony, like I got mad and everyone in my section got mad. We were like, no.
There was a little gas. You know?
Yeah.
People love
you ain't jumped around and do anything though, pussy.
Say it again? I didn't jump the rail. I'm gonna get to this broader point a little bit later, Monty, but you know, I've been to 4 Dynamites at this point. More so than any of the other shows. Being there live. Yeah, look at that. Look at this beautiful cat. Listen, being there live, Monty, more so than ever, because I was so up close this time. I feel like you don't really know who's a star until you feel it when you're there. You know what I mean? And I think more than ever before, it told me who the pretenders were in AEW. You know what I mean? I'm up there, and certain people, I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, it's just wow. Like, this is a superstar. You know,
Mm-hmm.
something about like the way they feel, how big, the size, the energy when they're walking out, the aura, whatever it is, right? And there was a couple people that felt like pretenders. You know, Maxwell Jacob Friedman 100% feels like a star at this point. You know, he's a real big star.
He's a top guy. He's a legitimate top guy. Like, even though he's only like what 25, 26. He's legit. He's up there, man.
Jericho's a superstar as well, and I mean that's not anything groundbreaking.
Before you continue, send super chats. I have to feed Leo. He's such a good boy, and he doesn't deserve to starve. So send super chats.
Oh
for
my
this good
God.
Boy.
Oh man, look at Leo. Yeah, you don't want Leo to starve, everybody. Let's get some super chats in for Leo.
Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a segment. It looks like they're probably gonna have a match next week on Dynamite, probably, and that'll be interesting. What did you make of this segment, Chris?
MJF is not that good. He said like the bare minimum bars. He's not doing his job anymore because he's getting cheered by a crowd. You prided yourself on being the only heel in wrestling to get booed, and now you're not getting booed. AEW crowds are stupid. Knew the fucking nigga who was doing all this evil, like not even that. He was doing evil shit, bro. And AEW just, I'm glad you're back, Max.
That man MJF said, if I'm the devil, then you're my devil worshippers. And the crowd's like,
bro, I think he's making that a thing as well, which is like,
I'm not feeling
he said it on the wrestling podcast. He said it last night, and he said it in a tweet. Bro. Like, I think he's gonna try and make the devil worshippers thing like
I'm
a thing.
Not into that.
Has there ever been like a wrestler? Forget like in the wrestling bubble, like just like in general, that was like a part of the Illuminati. You think?
I have no idea.
The Rock's definitely in it.
I ain't talking about that. I ain't getting them niggas sent
to
my house.
What about the ministry?
Like a straight up like Illuminati gimmick. Like I sold my soul.
The ministry was Illuminati.
The ministry was. I don't know if it was Illuminati, but it was something. It was retribution. There were sacrifices, and there was all that sort of shit.
Yeah, Israel, when she asked that question, she made a face like that she was on the precipice, on the cusp of uncovering some really crazy information that's never been discovered, and it's really funny. Like she was like, "Do you guys think like?" And like her eyes are like kind of like.
So someone in the live chat just said Batista has an Illuminati tattoo, which is. Yeah.
That makes so much sense because now he's literally in Hollywood.
Oh my God!
Y'all think Sasha joined? Wait, hold on, because she has like 6 years of wrestling now.
Like
I'm sorry. I'm not like a tinfoil hat wearing person. I just think it's interesting.
QAnon Israel.
Tony Khan sold his soul, not gonna lie.
Oh my God.
That's what someone said in the live chat.
This is better than a regular straightforward Dynamite conversation.
I said the NWO is literally the New World Order. So, one of the biggest acts in the business.
Let me know, Lamora. I'm pretty sure you were at the show. I think you were at the show, unless I'm mistaking you for somebody else. Israel, thank you so much for that. This
is a good one.
Parker Boudreaux gotta be an Illuminati.
Can't be, bro.
Yeah. Something's going on there. Something's going on.
He's like, yeah, Mike Tyson soon. Like, what?
Yes. I mean, there's a very. I'll tell y'all off the air what's going on there, but yeah. Listen, you know what's funny, Chris? What you said about Max. So you know what's the other thing that occurred to me when I was watching the show, guys? AEW needs more like heels, not just like I'm technically on the eat bad spectrum. Heels that get booed because the people who are heels in AEW get really great heat live, right? But there's not that many of them, and as a result, there's a lot of matches between people who like. It's almost like there's no real strong reason to cheer for one side or the other. You're just watching the match to watch the match. And so there's a lack of heat, especially in Rampage. You guys are going to see it. Like Jungle Boy and Phoenix are wrestling, right? And they're two really good wrestlers. They're baby faces. But like there's no real bad guy here. And so the fans are just watching them wrestle. And that's it. And even Danielson, Moxley, I love both wrestlers. John Moxley's had an amazing year. Brian Danielson is one of the best ever. They struggled at the beginning for heat. In the arena, because it's almost like who do we even really root for? You know?
Yeah, I've got my theories for that one, but
No. It's a very simple theory of Monty being there. There's a straight up one answer, bro. There needs to be more concrete heels. You know, I can't spoil this on Rampage, but there were heels on Rampage who got crazy heat. But then anything that wasn't heel versus face or heel involvement, you know, it was almost just like we're just watching this to watch it. You know what I'm saying? It's like who do we really got a passion to get behind? And it's why heels are so important. So just wanted to throw that out.
Chris, how many times are you gonna change?
I haven't changed.
Hey guys, if you're watching it,
It's gotta be a bit.
If you're watching, 100%. Guys, if you're watching in the chat, we need to create a hashtag Chris Watch, because if you don't pay attention,
he's doing some crazy lore right now. Like,
it's a lot of lore. There's a lot of Easter eggs.
Bray Wyatt's gonna show up on the WrestlePurists podcast in a minute.
Chris will change outfits. He'll eat something and then deny he was eating it. Like, I'm not going crazy, bro. He wasn't eating a mango earlier. It was a watermelon. Somebody needs to go back and run.
He started eating it again, bro. It happened, like, it's not like he got rid of it.
He has a straight face, right? So, like, I'm like, yo, am I crazy when he denies it? But no, he's messing with me, bro. He's really, like, someone needs to do a hashtag Chris Watch for that.
I've seen it. I've noticed him get changed at least 3 times.
At least 5 times.
I didn't notice until Israel pointed out. I'm like, yeah, he wasn't wearing that earlier. You know, if that's his role for tonight's podcast, but God bless him.
It's
what do we have next on the show?
It's a hell of a bit. It's almost it's Manny-esque, to be honest. Right, so this was the Trina thing now. So Jade Cargill, you know, she's not worried about any challenges. Diamante, you know, confronts her again. And she introduces her to Trina, who's going to be the friend that accompanies her. Is it next week or Friday? And you know, man, this was kind of like a old school pop for some of the old heads, I think. To be honest, bro.
Kill Bill, man.
Yo.
No, this is a messy jersey.
What was the jersey you had on?
I meant Ronaldo.
Could we do like a full fit check?
A full what?
This is crazy.
Fit
I don't
check.
have any.
This is art right now.
Really?
I hope the WrestlePurists community is appreciating this art by Chris right now. We got a few super chats. $2, Big Hero Chris. How many people were anti-deodorant, Hangman?
I was sitting in the lower sections where I was surrounded by no poor people, so surprisingly, nobody.
Not surrounded by no poor people.
It's just the truth. I actually it's funny. Like, there's a lot of people there that, like, you know, were quote unquote.
This elitist Hangman right now.
No.
Classism, misogyny, the watermelon comment.
No. You know what's funny? God struck me down for any of that because you know, I sat basically right there in the front, and I'm thinking, like, okay, full gear tickets on sale this morning. I'm gonna get those and sit with the elites again. And within seconds, like, there was nothing available, and I had to buy nosebleeds. So I think that was God humbling me. You know what I mean? I think that was, like, you know, something in the universe, like, telling me I'm not
capitalist.
Back of capitalist. Chris, people actually didn't really smell around me, surprisingly. So that was nice.
Allow me.
How do you pronounce that name, Israel?
Oh, it is for me. This is for Israel because her mom loves the best in the world, Shane. It's true. My mama got a big crush on Shane McMahon, and I agree that this is a deal. I'm just gonna speak my truth. It is what it is. Real bitches know. Shane McMahon, he's for the hoes. Thank you.
Is it the gray hair on the side?
He just got, like.
Why is happening? Shane.
I can see Shane. No, Shane.
Have you seen him on Raw Underground? Like, I don't know. I feel like his energy is just like.
Shane's swaggy with it, yo. I feel like Shane would go crazy in the club, man. Like, my man comes out in the sweatpants with his fresh Jordans, doing that little thing that he does on the stage, that little kind of foot shuffle. Some kids think that the Young Bucks brought Jordans into wrestling, but Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, real ones know it was Shane O'Mac back in the day. So,
do you guys have any opinions on Orange Cassidy versus Pac?
hold on. Another super chat.
Oh,
The custodian. Chris, I notice you keep changing wardrobe. I'll wash the laundry for you, bro. I got you.
Appreciate that, Brian.
Any other?
Hey, you'll get on TV one day, kid.
This is a crazy podcast.
Yo, you know what Israel looks
James,
like?
one last one. James, Chris, are you Cameroonian?
Chris, are you there? Chris is like,
well, Chris.
What happened?
Chris,
Are
you
you
want to know if
Cameroonian?
you're Cameroonian?
Huh?
What the hell?
Y'all hear me?
We got a super chat
Yes,
from
we
someone
hear
called
you.
James who asked if you're Cameroonian.
Oh no, I'm just Black and Native American. I'm
Okay.
a sad, pathetic USS boy.
No,
USA boy.
You know what? That's crazy. You know what Israel looks like when she puts the glasses on? She looks like every Raw assistant to the general manager in like the early 2010s. Like Israel, you know how like Teddy Long or like whoever.
I need like,
I'm telling you, yo, Israel, Teddy Long go walk in the office like, how we doing now, baby? Listen, they gotta go one-on-one with the Undertaker later, but I'm thinking like doing a tag match. What you think, baby? And you'll be like, I think that this guy really wants to get his hands on the Miz. So what we should do is a tag, and like, that's a great idea. we'll book it tonight.
remember when Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero were feuding, and Eddie had a CPS worker with him, and she was just standing there with her clipboard.
I'm just saying, like Teddy Long always had like just women with glasses around him, like in clipboards and shit. He was like, I'm thinking tonight we do a Divas bikini contest. What do you think? So like, it's a great idea, Teddy. It's a great idea.
Well, yeah, man. Pac versus Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
We finally got there, Hangman.
Yeah.
This, it's a match that happened.
What do you think, Israel?
I liked it. I like both of them a lot. It was just kind of like a TV match. It wasn't like anything outstanding, but yeah, I don't have too many thoughts on it. Like, I think they both, had a good match, and that was that.
Chris?
It was all right. Kind of disappointing. I don't know.
Wait, let me take a bet. The shirt that Chris has on is gonna be blue. Turn your camera on.
He's gonna change it if you're right. He's just
wait. But yeah, the match was okay. I don't know. Recently, Pac in his singles matches.
Oh no.
Oh no. I'm not gonna start doing anything, but like I think he's works harder in his trios matches right now than his singles matches. I don't know why.
Does it feel like Pac is in a weird like not phoning it in because that's like too much of a heavy accusation, but it's kind of like
Lucha Bros be putting that Mexican pride in him. That's why he be going crazy when he was young. So I don't know. Maybe he's just he lives in Britain. It's fucking depressing over there. When he comes to America, he's like, it's so much more life over here. And he just walks through it. I don't know.
A little bit of Randy Ortonism in some of it, but
he's finally showing up to work, so that's cool. But I don't know.
Can I? Cool. So, Monty, here's my ruling on this match. I think we're reaching the law of diminishing returns on the Orange Cassidy Pac in-ring dynamic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They will never, ever, 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 ever recapture the magic of their first match. I think their first match is genuinely one of the greatest AEW matches of all time. Not even just from ring work, from spectacle, moment, significance at the time, which cannot be understated. It's so commonplace now to see Orange Cassidy wrestle and do all these cool moves. But in the context of the time where Pac is this serious, badass, tough guy who was very well protected at the time and beat most people he wrestled, and he's taking on a guy who he literally never in an AEW setting seen wrestle, to see the meme guy wrestle for the first time was genuinely astonishing. And now that it's a commonplace thing, and they're both just kind of guys who float around in the middle of the card, It's 100% diminishing returns. Add to the fact that now Pac is a babyface. He's not a heel. Fans just kind of like in the arena.
Well, you might be now.
Sure, but we're watching this, right? And like it's going, and the work is very solid throughout. It's very solid. But it's almost like people don't really know how to feel or react to anything watching it live. At some point late in the match, it got so well worked that we got into it because they started really doing a lot of good near falls and counters. And so we got into it because they're great wrestlers, right? But ultimately, you know, we got that kind of weird finish. From my point of view, I'm not even sure what happened. You guys are gonna have to tell me what happened in that finish. I couldn't really see what that was. Like I don't know if he had like a bar of chocolate or something that he hit him with.
No, so you see the little hammer that you ring the bell with.
Okay,
that's what you hit him with. He
Bro,
hit him with the mini hammer thing, then he rolled him into the ring and pinned him.
Got you.
So that's what happened there. It wasn't the greatest finish in the world.
Yo, wait, Israel, did you see that? No, Israel, did you see that? Am I tripping? His shirt was yellow for a split second, and then some weird camera effect happened, and it went to like this burgundy. I'm not tripping, right? In the chat, someone let me know. Y'all saw that too.
Oh no, is that on the last one?
It's
so
like,
when he goes now, he'll come back and it'll flash purple before he goes to the new that he goes to.
I don't know what y'all talking about. My dog just keeps on getting stuff she shouldn't get into, so I'm just
Yo, Chris, what starter Pokemon are you picking?
From Gen 1, from the first ever.
Bro, just tell me you don't like a Pokemon trainer.
I'm a Bulbasaur guy.
Oh my god, my man literally looks like a Pokemon trainer. The next thing,
Chris, we got a fan.
Chris is handsome.
My dog.
Lovely comment from Chris's burner. Listen, so the next thing was the women's 4-way, right?
All right, bitch.
So like the pack thing. I think in certain when he's in singles matches, it's kind of to like Chris's point and yours, Hangman. When he's in singles matches, and especially now that he floats in between heel and face, when he's leaning heel especially, and he's kind of like controlling large segments of the match, it's like he's kind of I wouldn't say it's phoning it in, but it's like he's not. He definitely saves the sprint until the finishing stretch, you know, and it feels like he's kind of it's just a lot more slower pace and stuff like that when he's working a singles match and he's doing a lot of the work on top. He's not, we want to see. Everyone wants to see Pat doing loads of like crazy shit, athletic shit and stuff like that. But we can see him do in these multi-man tag matches like quite often, especially when they're just spot fests and people kind of like running around and doing crazy shit, which a lot of them are. But like I said, when he's on top in a singles match, he's a lot more. I think he tries to come across as more methodical, you know. But it's just not.
I noticed, Monty?
Go on.
Recently, him and Danielson have control segments where they work it with the mindset like they don't care if there's one person in the crowd or like 15,000. Because if you remember in pandemic wrestling, it allowed certain types of guys to just kind of like wrestle without having to worry about playing to an audience, right? And so certain guys who were just really nitty gritty. Oh my god. But guys like that, those types of guys, they can just kind of put their head down and just kind of grind it.
Right? What?
Yeah.
What's happening right now?
I thought he was holding up a wig for a second. And
me too. I thought it was.
What's he doing?
I'm not sure.
I'm just holding my dog because she keeps on getting.
Oh, it's a dog.
Yo, Chris is really good at putting on a poker face. Like I would be cracking up doing this. Like I would be cracking.
What?
Anyways, yeah, like Monty, like you'll see it later with Danielson, but like it just kind of feels like they kind of just put their head down and like this is my control segment. I'm working the body. I'm doing whatever I'm doing, and it's like. With whether this is a good or bad thing, with no regard really for like the audience, you know what I mean? They're just doing their thing. It's just something I noticed. But yeah.
It's I think you're onto something, to be honest with it, because what did you say, Chris?
Someone in the chat said it's a dog. It's a wig, but it's a dog.
Have we ever seen Monty's head on the podcast?
Monty, let's do a head review.
Oh, not with the hat, not with the hat hair, man.
No, we got to. I'm looking at Monty and I'm like, yo, I don't think he's ever shown his head. And honestly,
listen. I want you. Listen, this is. I'm gonna peel back the curtain. I'm gonna let y'all know what Monty said to me behind the scenes. Y'all gotta run the views up on this video. You understand?
Oh my god.
We're trying to gun for like say 10K.
That's crazy.
50-ish comments, 100 likes at the very top, 200 likes, right? And then Monty said he's gonna post a thirst trap on his personal account. So ladies, I know y'all been begging me, flooding my DMs. When is Monty gonna start posting thirst traps? He's so fine. No, listen, it's coming. Y'all just gotta make sure this video gets to 10,000, and then Monty's gonna post a thirst trap.
Is this Monty in his sex symbol era? Like, is that what's going on?
When this video only does a nice chilled out yeah, you know what I mean. It does.
Monty's hoping that we don't get views.
We'll be all right, you know. The live viewership's around. It's been floating around 150, so
that's healthy. It's healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy. It's healthy. It's not a record. We're not breaking records here, but
no, y'all know what to do. Y'all know what to do. Don't let me down.
Israel, when I see men who, every time I see them, they're always wearing hats. After about like 8 appearances, I start getting freaked out. I feel like what's going on underneath there? You know what I mean? Like,
wow, I've definitely got a forehead. You know.
Could you imagine Monty's balding? Like, could you like imagine?
I'm completely bald.
Imagine. Honestly, I can see Monty being completely bald or like just having a buzz cut. You know.
No, I've got
Listen, it's gonna be a head review.
I'd show it if I didn't have my hat on all day. I'd show it, but I'm not revealing my hair for it to be like this fucking.
It took what the
fuck is that, bro?
He's so serious too. I swear we haven't been reviewing AEW for the past.
This is better.
He's 100% cut his camera off because he couldn't. There's no way he kept the straight face.
He was cracking up.
Chris, do you have a dashiki?
Oh no, it's a tie. I got a job interview later in a couple minutes.
Yo, somebody please make a compilation. Now, Monty, Manny, I remember it took a while for me to see Manny's head because remember Manny's a hat guy too, right? And I remember this one review where he just has his hair, and I was like, oh shit, like what the hell? Threw me off. But yeah, man, the women's 4-way was next. For the AEW Interim Women's Championship, we had a 4-way, and it was Athena versus Serena Deeb versus Toni Storm versus Britt Baker, and the crowd wasn't electric, but they were very respectful in my section. You know what I mean? I had women in front of me who it almost felt like maybe they knew Britt personally, the way they reacted, because they reacted a certain way specifically for her, and they left after her match was over. So I want to say that they were her colleagues or something. Like definitely, right? But yeah, this was a good match. I thought the people who shined the most, in my opinion, were Athena and Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb was very impressive with some of the stuff that she pulled out in this match, and Athena was as well. Ultimately,
Athena was great.
Yeah, I thought Athena was awesome. Britt Baker, she got her mouth busted open, I believe, and she was real into that. You know, she loves Britt goes for it. She really likes to bleed, actually.
Yeah, one of the first things she did was like look down at the camera.
Yeah, and she was she loves that. She loves the shot of her with the bloody face and stuff. So she got busted open, and ultimately Toni Storm got the win. Pretty good match. Israel, what did you think of this 4-way?
I thought it was really boring, but then it started to pick up later when Toni Storm and Athena started like going back and forth. It picked up. It got really interesting. Well, as interesting as it could given the circumstance. I didn't really care for the outcome of the match itself, but I liked the drama afterwards because Jamie pulled out and she was like, you know what, this is my time. I could really break out and be her. I could be a star. I could, try to be more than just Britt Baker's maid. But then she just decided that's the life she wants to live. She wants to be Britt Baker's pet. So if you're a fan of Jamie Hayter, that's really sad, and I'm praying for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I felt like the Saraya update was not update. The debut. I don't know. I never like personally cared for her in WWE. I thought she was like extremely overrated and annoying and not talented, and like I didn't like her look or like really anything about her. But I don't know. When she came out, she had like a certain flavor, a certain energy to her, and who knows? Maybe her being injured and leaving WWE is like a blessing in disguise. I don't want to judge too soon because a lot of times when people come back from injury, they switch up their whole wrestling style. So it could be the case of her like improving, because she's had enough time off, enough time to train, what have you. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing Paige or Saraya perform under AEW because it's like it's gonna bring more interest to the women's division, and I can't, bro.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm trying to nose at it and I can't do it, bro. Like,
to be honest,
but no, I think it's gonna be really interesting.
We should have. Yeah, he was laughing. We should have no sold it. Could you imagine we did this spot?
No, I saw him, and I'm trying to. I was trying to get my my shit off, and I couldn't.
Could you?
What's up?
Oh my! Could y'all imagine if we just like made no comments on this, like throughout the entire?
that definitely happened earlier. 100. I'm not sure how long he's been doing this bit, which is worrying because like.
No, he's been doing it since we started. I was just, I thought maybe he was doing it because like he didn't like his outfit, look, but then he just kept going.
I don't know, man. I noticed one time. I noticed one time he came back with a bandana. I don't know, man.
Someone said my burials and Chris's wardrobe changes are the draw.
Yo, guys, someone made a thread, and they haven't even updated with Chris's newest thing. We are at, no joke, 12.
What, there's a thread?
14. Yeah,
thread.
There's a 14 picture thread of Chris's outfits in this podcast.
I haven't changed my outfits. What's there a thread of? Like my face?
This man is a gimmick, bro. Like this.
What's happening?
Yo, he really is Bray Wyatt because he hasn't really analyzed anything on the show. He's just doing like gimmicks and shit. Like, hey,
he buried MJF. He put Jericho over, and then he's been doing this the whole time.
Like, oh my god. Okay, so Monty, here's my thing on Saraya. We all know the obvious. She's a big star, big name. It's a thing big that gets buzz. So it's a good get from that standpoint, right? The way they set this up where she confronts Britt Baker, I said this to the guy next to me, and the guy next to me agreed. It's just one of those things where it's like, bro, Toni Storm retained her championship, right? And the fallout of this match is an angle with Britt Baker. And it's just very apparent that no matter who's the title holder in this women's division, the A storyline and the A person featured is always going to be Britt. In the hierarchy of things in the women's division, it's always just what's happening with the Brittverse. And it's very reminiscent to me of periods of John Cena's career, because John Cena wasn't the champion all the time, but John Cena was the top thing all the time. CM Punk would hold the title, but John Laurinaitis versus John Cena would main event pay-per-views over a CM Punk title events. You know what I'm saying? And so in this case, it's like, okay, Saraya versus Britt Baker, the feud, that's going to be the priority over whatever Tony's going to be doing in the middle with the interim belt. And I don't know if I hate that, but it's just something that is very apparent to me. You know what I mean? And so this is just more of that. So
yeah, I think it was something that kind of stood out to me, kind of caught me off guard at the end. Like at the end of the women's segment, it was like the babyface is standing tall in the ring, which was Saraya, Athena, and Toni Storm. The WWE girls. It was not that I'd complain about it, but it just definitely it was something that I noticed at the time. Everything you said about Britt is definitely true. Where like everything with her kind of feels like the A storyline in the women's side, very similar to like Cena, but not as drastic.
Who in the women's division besides Jade and Britt is really good on the mic? And I'm not saying this to be patronizing. I genuinely want to know y'all opinions.
Okay, I have answers.
Ruby can talk.
Yeah, Ruby Soho can talk her ass off. Willow Nightingale, who hasn't gotten a big shot yet, I'm really into what she's got going on. I love her energy, her charisma. In my opinion, I think once she gets the ball rolling, will be the next great big babyface superstar in AEW. And I actually firmly believe this. And it seems like an overshooting or overhyping at this point because she's really just like at the bottom of the card. But I think she's the next one if she gets that shot. She can talk. She's very charming. Besides those two, I'd have to kind of think. I'd have to think. It's definitely not Marina Shafir.
Why is Marina Shafir
people can talk, but it's about who have got like a little bit of extra fire that can like go back and forth with like a Britt Baker, for example.
What the?
What the fuck is that?
I think Chris Statlander is actually a pretty good promo since he's changed her gimmick. Who else? Red Velvet is kind of good at talking lately.
I can't do this, bro.
Nyla's really good at talking. She doesn't need Victor.
No, that's a good one.
I can't.
Oh.
This nigga came back as Cyclops.
That was so fucking.
Chris, what do you think of Saraya as a talent?
When I first started watching WWE, I think like the first memory I have of WWE, like watching the whole show, was the show she debuted on and beat AJ for the title that night. I don't know. I remember her gimmick being like overly sexual, which like I was like 15 at the time. I was like, what is this? I'm kind of, I'm just sitting there. I remember she licked Natalia's face one time. I was like, okay. I don't remember. I remember the AJ and Paige matches being like
that was his like, that was his really sexual awakening.
You know what's funny, Chris? So AJ Lee was seen as the really progressive women's wrestling talent at the time, right? Because like her thing was like, unlike some of the other divas, like I care about like the actual sport of wrestling, and I want to get into it, and And at the time, it felt like other people weren't really of that belief. So when Paige came up from NXT, there was a lot of excitement from hardcore fans, like, oh my god, 2 serious women's wrestlers, they're gonna wrestle each other, and it's gonna be like amazing. And like on paper, when they set the thing up and had the feud, people genuinely thought like we're gonna get a series of like incredible women's matches. And Paige won the one on Raw, and people were like, okay, that was a great moment. The match wasn't great, but the moment was great, right? And so it was like the belief at the time was like, okay, they're gonna like on paper, they're gonna go crazy. And it felt like, maybe Israel, you could correct me, it felt like they had like 6 straight shambolic women's pay-per-view matches. Like it was genuinely, and I'm saying that as somebody.
Wait, when are you talking about?
2014 Paige versus AJ Lee feud.
Oh yeah, I wasn't feeling it. I feel like at the time, because both of them were okay, they were the indie darlings, and we didn't see that with the Divas division.
Yeah.
So for that reason, they were just really overhyped, in my opinion. And when they were hot potatoing the Divas title, I just thought that it was so corny. It wasn't corny when Sasha and Charlotte did it. It was corny when AJ and Paige did it. Don't like.
Israel, I'm gonna interrupt right there because that's the thing. At the time, it was like, okay, oh my god, 2 people that care about women's wrestling. They're not divas. They're wrestling. They're having a feud where they're going back and forth. But historically, it's just not. It's hard to look back super, super favorably on it in a transformative way because it's like, bro, 2 years later, 2 women did that a zillion times better. You know what I mean? And I know it's kind of unfair to be like, oh, well, they're just not on the level of Sasha Charlotte because it's like so many few women's wrestlers in America are, right? But at the same time, it's just like that's just what happened. 2 years later, it was done by 2 people a lot better.
No, I mean, like I'm gonna give them their props because it does kind of shift the perception of what a woman wrestler should be, quote unquote, especially in WWE at the time. So they did kind of, in a way, open doors so that women that are much better than them in the ring could, shine afterwards. So, and that's what ended up happening. So that's why, like, when people mention like AJ Lee and Paige, like, I know a lot of like women wrestling fans love them. So I don't want to go too hard on them because like they mean a lot to women wrestling fans.
I like AJ Lee.
Huh?
No, yeah, I was just I said I like AJ Lee personally.
I'm talking about women wrestling fans who with opinions that matter, not people that hate women.
Okay.
So yeah. Honestly, I don't know where I was going with that. It's just that they've been surpassed and it is what it is. But like, I'm just hoping that even after all these years that like Paige can, switch it up, bring something new, bring interest back into her again, because now's the perfect time to do it. Like you're red hot, And
Israel, you said a key word there, interest. I think Tony, he didn't sign Paige because it's like, oh my God, her and Britt Baker are going to have 7-star matches. No. I think what he's trying to do right now is get interest into the women's division. Interest with some star power that's going to get buzz and attention and make the crowds care and it feel like an important part of the show and not a bathroom break. And I think that is what was prioritized here. And so because of that, I think really the jury is out on how this turns out. You know what I mean? Like I got to really see how their segments go, where she and Britt are going back and forth talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's she's a big star,
Oh no, I got a question. I got a question for you, Israel. How likely is Britt Baker? What in the
Did Hangman leave? Oh my God.
Where'd Hangman go? Why'd Hangman leave? Oh, there he is.
What the fuck?
I can't talk until he's off camera.
What?
I'm gonna go through some.
Hey man, ask me what you wanted to ask me.
Israel,
no, go on.
How likely is Britt Baker to go for the very, very obvious low-hanging fruit on Paige in a promo segment?
I think she's gonna do it right away. I think it's gonna be the opening line in the opening promo when she addresses it the first time.
There's a lot of things to get Paige.
They're definitely gonna bring up
Baker style talker.
S-tape scandal. They're definitely gonna bring up her having crunchy bones. It's gonna look bad for her.
Del Rio, do you think the Del Rio stuff gets brought up? Them just doing drugs all over the place and getting arrested.
I can see Saraya. I keep wanting to call her Paige, but I can see Saraya being the type of girl that's like, basically like, give it to me. Like anyway, it doesn't matter.
I don't know. You think so? I feel like
I think so because she's the same person that brought up the death of Reed Flair to Charlotte. So if you can, approve that kind of a promo, then like you should definitely be able to take it.
I don't
know if you can bring the Alberto stuff up. I don't know if you can bring that up.
Could because
does she still have Poppy tattooed on her finger?
Nah, I don't think so.
Did y'all hear the song she came out to? That Paige came out to?
Yeah.
That song sucks, bro. It's like anti-cancer.
No, Chris, you break up, bro.
Chris became a robot visually and then started sounding like a robot.
No, Falling in Reverse is a pretty washed up band.
Oh my God.
Am I still a robot?
No, we can hear you now.
It's a little bit better. Oh, here we go. He's gone again. Anyway, I'm gonna fly through some super chats with you. Mad King. Brian Pillman Jr. Go on.
If Brian Pillman Jr. gets a gimmick, TK watches the pod. TK gets briefed on a lot of different things when it comes to the opinions of wrestling fans online. So I would not be surprised if something from WrestlePurists ever made it over to him. A couple wrestlers from AEW do already listen to the pod, by the way. Young Dende, 199 super chat. People call Mox a blood merchant, but it's Britt for real. I think with Britt, it's that like a lot of her really positive crowning moments in wrestling involve blood in a way where it's like, would this be as great without it? Type of thing, you know. I think Mox can be great without it, even though it's a massive asset to what he does. Right?
He just feels more comfortable when he runs the blood. It's very Flair-esque when Moxley, especially
just kind of
that streak that he went on when he was just doing it every week. You know?
Dude, bro, he bladed off a sling blade at the forbidden door. I was like, yo, this guy is different. Thank you for the super chat, Young Dende. Hollywood Hangman's personal assistant, $4.99. Coming from someone who I owe about working for underappreciated bosses. I don't know why Jamie. Oh, what the hell? Yo, okay, no, I had a speck on my monitor and like it looked like an H. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know why Jamie stayed with Britt. Last day of work today, though. Peace backup. Personal assistant, I've appreciated every bit of assisting that you've done for me. You are a really, really important asset to the Hangman brand. I value you. I would love to keep you. Please reach out to me with what I could do to keep you happy and satisfied as an employee of mine.
Fair.
Sick.
Israel, check this one out.
Glasses.
The multiverse from James Fonlin. The multiverse of Chris's. Yeah, I don't know what Chris is on right now, but
and then we got another Chris comment.
Wait! Before you read this one, I was gonna say, see, y'all don't peep. Steph, I said Steph. Isra pulled out the glasses, and she did this like theatrical WWE ass like introduction to doing it, and like I think at this point we got to play like the Stephanie McMahon theme song when like she reads super chat to some shit. But go ahead, Isra.
So Oliver said, I just tuned in to listen to the new AEW recap and see Chris cosplaying as Cyclops, bro. Honestly, at this point, I don't know if this is even an AEW review show anymore. We've lost the plot like several times.
I don't know what though.
I don't know what we're doing, but I'm having a good time. You know, it's just insane. You know,
what's Chris gonna do next, man?
Yo, Israel, real quick for me. Do the glasses intro one more time for me. Just do it on camera.
You were always trying to get us copyright strikes, man.
Yo, it's crazy how we haven't gotten cooked yet. Yo, what else?
Oh, do y'all like my sticker?
What? Oh, that's the Raw Women's Championship.
I got it for free with the WWE shop order. This is not sponsored.
This podcast, Monty, probably sounds crazy if you're listening on Spotify with no visual. You know what I mean?
Well, God, if people who there isn't many, but there is like a small like handful. I think the most we've got on one podcast, like an actual podcast, it's like 100 downloads or something like that.
That's pretty good.
I know, yeah, it's pretty good considering like this is literally a live stream. Like we call them podcasts, but they are just live streams.
It's live streams. No one has like particularly good microphones. You know what I mean?
They're live. It's you know, the way we produce it, everything. It's a live stream.
Oh my god! Oh.
What's he done now, bro? Fucks.
He's looking mad hard.
Yeah, he's looking. I can't tell if he's frozen or like he's just mean bugging. Yo.
Oh my bad. I was just trying to make sure my camera was all right.
Oh my god. You know what Chris looks like now? He looks like it's 2012, right? And someone's playing a 90s hip hop beat, and he's spitting the most lyrical, miracle, spiritual bars about how he's like not like these other rappers. And how he expands his mind, and he's not about drinking and smoking and shit. He definitely is that 17-year-old conscious backpack.
Let's kill a soul for someone.
Yeah, right.
100.
He's dissing. That's what I'm saying. He's making he has like a diss for Drake, and at some point in the thing, he at some point in the rap, he's rapping about how he's better than Kendrick Lamar. Like,
yo, back up. This one's you.
6-star, 1999.
It's not for you. I'll take this.
Hold on, Israel. You got to cue your theme song. I'm sorry.
It's for Isra, so it's like I want backup to read it.
Okay. Yeah. Back up. Stop. All right, you Hangman can read it.
On that grind right now. Now listen tomorrow. WrestlePurists continues to purify the wrestling world. Y'all are absolutely killing the game. I love you, my queen Isra. This is your podcast, your channel, your world. Heart with a rapping thingy. Double hearts. Powerpuff Girls heart.
Yeah, that's
heart
right.
with a sparkle.
That's right.
Heart that's radiating. Another
Talk.
Powerpuff Girls heart.
Talk.
Double heart.
Thank you, 6-star. I live for
6-star.
you and I die for you.
6-star.
We appreciate 6-star.
Always so supportive, man. This is a good podcast. I don't know about y'all. I think this is amazing.
Yeah, I'm having fun. You know.
Yeah, this is a good time.
It's like completely different than my days.
Yeah, I love it. I think Isra brings a different complexion to the conversation, and one that makes this just a better vibe. I think. I didn't really want to have a stick up the butt, boring segment by segment discussion of a show that's very straightforward, frankly. And so just kind of this feels like we're just kind of hanging out. And I enjoy it.
Yeah, man. We bring good vibes.
Where did we leave off in the recap for AEW?
Saraya.
Oh yeah, that was gonna say big star. Okay,
I feel like we talked enough about Saraya.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we finished it.
What's the next thing? Like Trina outsold every single one of the women.
That's crazy.
Stop it.
She said Jade was like, I'll see you Friday. She was like, you see me now.
Nah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think I've seen anyone have Jade like floored on the mic, but she literally didn't know what to do.
Yeah. It was very much
fun, and I love Trina. And I feel like
she's
she's
an old school pro, you know.
Absolutely. So what was next? Just the main event, Monty?
Post match, Darby Allin drags a body bag around New York.
I didn't see this.
Oh, bro, it was one of like the Darby skits, and he was like on the subway with body bag. People were saying it was Malachi, which I thought was spiteful.
That's crazy.
But yeah, we got one of those Darby clips, you know. What the fuck, bro? I can't do this anymore.
What's wrong?
2 hours, man.
Yo, this nigga Chris came in and said, no, I can't do it. But whose man is this, yo? Whose man is this?
What?
I don't get how he does it so quick, bro. Like, it's...
My man came in and said,
MashaAllah, brother Chris converted to Islam. He has his hijab on.
Oh my god. I thought he was a ninja. That's what I thought he was. Oh my god.
Oh, I don't. What are we talking about here?
Well,
Darby
Chris,
Allin.
we was about to get to the main event.
Oh, okay. I liked it. I don't think it was Malachi. I think the body bag represents the. I won't spoil it, but the spoiler for Rampage.
I don't know.
I think.
I don't particularly think it was meant to be a shot or a hint at Malachi either, to be honest.
Can one of y'all give me the rundown of this Darby thing? Because I thought it was an ad, so I skipped the whole thing, and then I saw his face at the end, and I was like, I'm not replaying this.
It was kind of just Chris. Not Chris. It was just kind of a Darby going around New York, getting on the subway, doing all this shit, but he had like a body bag with him, you know?
Oh, wow.
Well, body bag that apparently had somebody in it, you know?
I'm leaving my comments to myself.
Darby's Darby does his weird little videos and shit, you know? So Regal 199, Chris, you're killing me, lad.
I appreciate that you're all like my wrestling opinions and knowledge of the sport.
Chris has given 2 opinions in this entire podcast.
They were both pretty good opinions.
I mean,
yeah, they weren't quite as good as my CM Punk is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time take, but absolutely, yeah, I totally think that's crazy. What causes man to laugh of all things was CM Punk being praised. That's like insane. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
James, $2. Appreciate you.
Thank you, James.
But yeah, man, that's it.
James.
Let's talk this main event. So in the main event, we had for the vacant AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. This is Jon Moxley's fourth chance to win the big one. You know, because he's a 3-time world champ. Then you include the interim as well. This was his third shot at the real world title. Bryan Danielson's third shot at the world title, I think. Fourth, third. Something like that anyway. I thought it was a good match. I still don't think Bryan Danielson and Moxley have had the best match that they can have in AEW, and it's for varying reasons. But like I said, I thought last night's match was a really good match. I thought it was maybe you can talk to this a bit more, Hanger, but to me it kind of felt like that Danielson, like the crowd was ready to get behind Danielson in this match, and it felt like Danielson knew that, so he decided to take like a majority of the meat of the match.
Yes,
He just kind of like beat on Moxley for he took a lot of that match, you know. So it wasn't kind of a thing where Moxley was just kind of kicking the shit out of him and then pinged him at the end. Like I said, I think it was just kind of one of those things where Bryan just, you know, he sensed the feeling from the crowd and, you know, kind of took the match, you know. What was it like in the crowd at Grand Slam?
they came out. I was really excited for this match. And the people around me just when the bell rang, he just sat there and watched them, and I was perplexed. And I'm trying to start chants, and none of them are getting over. I tried to start. You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in. And there's a woman in front of me who turned around as if like she didn't know that was like a Ring of Honor chant, and she looked at me like I was psychotic, because like behind her is this man going, "You're gonna get your fucking head kicked in," and she just turned around like, "What do you want?"
I thought you said you was being stoic and cool, and
I mean, I was being mostly stoic and cool. You know what I'm saying? I was being real stoic and cool the whole time. You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of sitting there laid back. You know what I mean?
You were being a mark. You should be so glad they didn't put the camera on you.
I was being real suave. Nah, if the camera caught me, I would have gone viral if I got caught on camera. But I you know, it was weird. Like the match started and the fans, they just kind of were sitting, and I was like, why? And then I told my friend, I said, yo, man, it's because they're baby faces both, I think. And so, like you said, Monty, then Danielson took most of the control instead of like being just babyface Daniel Bryan in terms of match structure. It just turned into like, I'm just gonna grind this guy out and grapple and do technical shit. And when they were doing the whole MJF on the screen gimmick, that was the only time the people around me reacted. Like they would just kind of laugh at his reactions of things. And so it started to become a sideshow live, which was weird. But as we were closing in, I would check my phone and I'm like, guys, it's 9:50, it's 9:52, it's 9:55, it's 9:56. And so we're like, yo, is this gonna be a time limit draw? And so dudes got nervous, like, what's gonna happen here, right? And so as we were closing in and the time was running out, there was an increased level of urgency, and the near falls got really, really, really good. At that point, everyone in our section did want Danielson to win primarily, right? And so that got us into it. There's one of the corner turnbuckles has a microphone, and when Danielson chops in that corner specifically, it makes a really loud noise that gets people into it. But all in all, really, really good closing stretch of the match. I bid on like every near fall, every single one of them.
What's up?
Did this freeze?
What you saw?
What happened?
I'm just not gonna.
Oh shit!
I'm just not gonna dignify that.
I was on a different tab of the universe.
See, I know it. I fucking knew he was eating watermelon.
This nigga crazy.
Yo, Monty, the match turned great in my opinion. Danielson did the Bret Hart turnbuckle run up into a pin when he was in a submission. I thought that was it. It was not it. Moxley gave him a paradigm shift on the ramp. That was insane. I thought the match got so great at the end, and see, God, I caught him again. But yeah, John Moxley won the title, and that was really, really disappointing, to be honest with you. When Danielson lost, like, I actually lowered my head in like defeat. Like I literally just slumped over, like, oh my God. Really disappointing. I wanted to get the prolonged run. Clearly they have different plans. They're going for Mox and MJF, and sure, that's fine. I feel bad almost being mad about it because Mox has worked so hard this year and he's been such a pillar for them and such a steady hand. But at the same time, man, I really did want Bryan Danielson to get an extended run with this thing. And so the fact that he's not is just disappointing. That's just how I feel. And that's just kind of where I'm at with it. What did you think of this match, Israel?
Who?
I thought it was good. I don't think it's their best match together, but I was sports entertained. I personally wanted Danielson to win, but it kind of seems like this circumstance just wasn't going to move in his favor because after the Punk Moxley match, it seemed like they pivoted MJF from wanting to beef with Punk and then having him move to Moxley. So when I thought about it that way, I'm like, oh, it makes sense that they had Moxley win. But at the same time, it's like they could have had Danielson win and then had Mox and MJF feud on the side, and then MJF can move up to Danielson if they want to have him in the title picture so bad. I feel like they're kind of starting to – they centered the booking around MJF, which I don't really care for because it just was a stupid decision. And mind you, in my opinion, Mox is like top 3 like wrestlers alive this year, right? So obviously, like, I didn't want him to lose to CM Punk to begin with, because CM Punk was stinking it up in that match and Mox was carrying just to lose, and that just stings. I wasn't on this podcast after that match, but bro, it stings when like the person that got carried in the match gets to win, and then even more so when they like shit on this whole title and this whole company after.
This is not true.
So, in my opinion, if Moxley won, that would never happen to begin with. You should be agreeing with me, Hangman.
I don't agree with you because
you should be agreeing with me because if it wasn't for that title,
your name is not Isra. It's is wrong. Your name is wrong.
No.
Because,
honestly, if Mox would have won that match, it would have saved Punk. It would have saved Punk's career. But now he about to hit the unemployment line because he couldn't shut up.
See, so you know what's actually going to happen is wrong. CM Punk is going to come back to AEW because he is such a massive draw, a massive superstar, and a generational talent. And so generational talents get away with more than other people.
I didn't hear a word you said is right. You're not about to, act like
it's not is right, it's is wrong. Let's get some is wrongs in the chat. ISWRONG is wrong.
Are you insulting our viewers' intelligence like they don't know how to spell? They know how to spell is right.
Listen, you're not is wrong all the time. It's like your Finn Balor transformation. You become the demon sometimes when certain people come up. when
I'm about to cut you short again. Listen, you're not about to compare me to Finn Balor of all people, bro.
Listen,
I'm actually my at name is so fitting. I'm more like Seth Rollins. Like, I'm there when you need me. I'm gonna pull through every single time, and I'm gonna make you look better. And you not shit without me. Let's just like call a spade a spade.
That's an interesting analysis. But the true analysis is, you come in, black trunks, good worker, you know what I'm saying? Does the sling blade, does the coup de grace, you know what I'm saying? Good, good looking, good worker, all that stuff. That's nice. When certain people come up that you can't hang with, certain people like Cody Rhodes, like CM Punk, you have to transform just to hang in there. You got to turn into the demon. You got to turn into is wrong. And it's entertaining. It's cool. It's a good gimmick.
That's not about to pop off. That's not about. There's zero is wrongs in the chat. I don't see a single is wrong.
Hey, listen, if you love Backup Hangman, if you love Hollywood Hangman Adam Pearson, I'd be spitting these podcasts. Let's get a hashtag is wrong in the chat. Now I expect hundreds of them to be rolling in right now. And so yeah, listen, man. Israel's just wrong when it comes to Punk and Cody. That's fine. I respect it. I still love and appreciate you for what you do and what you bring to this podcast. But you're totally wrong about Punk. CM Punk will be back in AEW because he gets the privilege of a superstar. And when he comes back, Monty, he'll be resurrecting what at that point will probably be a brand that is very much in need of him. And so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to, running back this footage come springtime next year.
Oh, we'll see how it plays out. You know.
Did you guys want Danielson to win, or did you want Moxley to win?
I
wanted
definitely wanted I wanted Danielson to win because it was just like, you know, it wasn't so much where it was a thing where it was like, oh, I want Danielson to have the big moment at the end of Dynamite. It was just like, I just wanted the reign, you know. Needed that Bryan Danielson reign, and I don't want to say I'm mad at Moxley being world champ because that sounds almost ridiculous because Moxley's Moxley, but I'd be lying if I was to say anything else other than I'd be a lot happier right now if Bryan Danielson was my world champ. So.
Yeah.
Hangman, you've lost this one. Got a super chat.
$5
and cents.
Nihilization is right.
So,
Let me put my glasses on so I can see if I'm reading that right. Oh, I am reading that right.
We got this from Nikki earlier as well.
Listen, I
appreciate you, Nikki.
Appreciate you, Nikki.
Thank you so much.
Is Nikki $5 super chat queen? Thank you so much. I'm very certain that $5 was for just my amazing insight during this podcast that you were clearly edified by. You were very, just edified and enlightened by just some of the great things that I've said tonight. And so I thank you for the super chat.
Brian is on quite the losing streak. It's a very interesting pattern, says Charlie.
Yeah, man. I just think, he has very limited, finite time left in pro wrestling, presumably. And so with that being the case, when you have a guy of that level of ability, it's just like, when are you going to get a better opportunity to just kind of clean slate, let him kind of steer the ship for a little bit? You know what I mean? Because, theoretically, the Elite are going to be back at some point. And who knows? CM Punk may be back at some point.
No.
And who knows? But my point is, right now, main event scene wide open. We need stability. Why not just give Jon Moxley his scheduled vacation and let Bryan Danielson run with the ball for even if it's just a month or two? That's a month or two of Bryan Danielson weekly matches and title defenses that I'd like to see. Unleash him.
Yeah.
Monty's so down about it. Israel, let's get that super chat. Red. I'm all grown up now.
James said, I forever stand Mox, but thought Bryan was going to win. Same. Feel bad for Renee. CM Punk ain't coming back. Hangman, it's okay. We'll get through it. Is right.
Oh, I didn't even see that last thing. That's nasty. That's nasty.
Listen. Yeah, I think in my opinion, it's like if Moxley would have won the match with Punk, first of all, a lot would have changed. But that's besides the point. I genuinely think Mox deserved to just have a full title reign. But the fact that they had him lose to Punk, but then beat Bryan, it's kind of like, I don't know. I kind of feel like it makes the belt look kind of cheap. I can't think of a better word than that when it's like it kind of seems like the world championship just doesn't have direction currently. And that's not a reflection on Moxley because he's legitimately one of the best wrestlers out right now. But it is what it is at this point. We'll see how it plays out. But if he turns out to be a transitional champion just for MJF, I don't know.
It's tough. It's real tough. It's a lot of it isn't even really Tony's fault, obviously you can't predict the Punk injury, you can't predict the fight backstage and the suspensions, and Moxley's just kind of been the person who's cleaned it all up.
Reliable.
All reliable, the ace, whatever you want to call it. And for now, the MJF thing is worrying because it seems realistic that Moxley could have been talked into staying around for an extra few weeks, before going on this scheduled holiday that he was supposed to be going on. So I guess it's a case of whether the Moxley holiday is completely cancelled or whether
I know Renee's mad at Tony Khan. She's probably nigga, why can't you just put that shit on Bryan? What are you doing here?
The only thing I can think of for Bryan not winning it is Bryan may not have wanted the belt, but why would he not want the belt? Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon. What would he not want?
Monty, what do you think of this theory? Bryan Danielson was once a holder of the Pure title and Ring of Honor World title a long time ago. What do you think of Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia having a title unification match? And regardless of who wins, you could have it where Jericho beats Daniel Garcia, unifies the belts. Daniel feels some type of way about it because Jericho cheated to beat him, maybe. And then you end the trilogy of him with Bryan. And Bryan wins those Ring of Honor titles. And now the guy who's defined Ring of Honor for so much of its history is now holding its top belt. Or you give Garcia the big win on Chris Jericho, and then he faces Bryan Danielson in a big matchup. Either way, like, do you think something like that's because the more I think about it, it feels like that kind of there's a lot of ties there that just make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's definitely something I could see happening. Because the Garcia Jericho match is something that I'm pretty bullish on them doing. To be honest, I think that's something that they're gonna go with. So, if they can add the Bryan Danielson implications to it as well, that would it's a good storyline, man. It seems like it would be something that's simple enough to book as well, and I like it, man. I like it. It's 3 good wrestlers, so
yeah, for sure. It's just something to think about. I think they might go in a direction like that because Chris Jericho has no ties to Ring of Honor, and that just feels super weird to me. But Chris Jericho as a speed bump in the road in a story to get it in Danielson's hands in some way, shape, or form makes sense given that they're in a program with each other, and because Bryan Danielson is Ring of Honor. You know, regardless of who's come before or after him, when I think Ring of Honor, personally, I think of Bryan Danielson. So.
I think a lot of people do when it comes to like Ring of Honor, when it comes to that belt as well. It's Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
there's countless classics he's had for that promotion and for that title, for those titles. Literally. Like you said, he's kind of like Mr. Ring of Honor, Punk obviously had a legendary run there. Samoa Joe genuinely had one of the best years any wrestlers
had a legendary run everywhere, but
for sure. Samoa Joe literally had like the best year anyone's ever had anywhere in any generation. Bryan Danielson literally was getting called the best wrestler in the world while he was there in a time where that didn't really happen to indie wrestlers.
Monty, for more contextualization, because I was there, not that I'm 47, but listen, man, Bryan was being called the best in the world in a period where you literally had not that much access to his work, and to even access and see his work, you were literally essentially paying like $40 per match because you're paying for the DVDs of individual shows, unless you wanted to get the bootleg compilations where some people would kind of do these things. They'll burn a bunch of footage of his stuff and you'll get like an 8-match DVD set or something, which they would do in the mid-2000s for Kobashi, for Inoa, or like Bryan Danielson, for example. So there you go.
Yeah, look, it was definitely a time where indie wrestlers were not getting called the best wrestler in the world by anybody. It's not like it was a consensus or anything, because obviously Ring of Honor didn't have a platform to produce anyone to do that.
No.
But it was more of like an if you know, if you know about Bryan Danielson, he's
it's why early NXT in Full Sail was appealing to me, because it was like I can finally get my extended look on all these guys that I've heard were so great for so long.
Yeah, it was. The most influential promotion in the past 25 years. So
yeah, absolutely.
100%.
And speaking of influence, I think I did great tonight on this podcast. I think I really just added a special dynamic to what we got going on. One that did blend well with what Israel's doing. Israel was very, very valuable today. I do admit, I'll concede that, because in spite of her occasional wrongness on certain people, what she does is she expands the conversation. She doesn't keep it narrow. She doesn't make it linear. And I think that's healthy sometimes. It's healthy to kind of expand it, because that's one that Monty, you did good. Chris, you did pretty good. Hangman is 56. No, I'm 46. Yeah. I think three of us did a great job here tonight. You know what I mean? And CM Punk
me,
forever.
Monty, and Chris did do a great job. Thank you.
Yeah, listen. Me, Chris, and Monty just absolutely killed it. Chris.
Whoa! I am not gonna let you put down the work of a woman, not in my presence, you bigot.
Exactly.
Listen, you can spin your narratives and your agendas. I value what Israel does contribute on here. You know, occasionally.
People now actually think Hangman's 46, which is
Yes.
which is something which is definitely something I'm willing to roll with. So,
Monty, you want to hear something insane? Someone tweeted like, "How old were you in 2002?" And I quote tweeted it, and I said like,
"We do not care."
People really care. People really want to hear about this. Hangman lore is actually very, very interesting. You know, is right. Let's get more Isrons in the chat, man. Oh my God, tomato. This is just. It's not. Where's the appreciation? You know, I bring nothing.
Shout out
but
to Dude Man.
That man went crazy. He just destroyed his keyboard. Hangman was watching Gorgeous George live. That wrestler wrestled in like the 20s, bro. Like, that is insane. This nigga said I was watching black and white wrestling. Nah, man. You know, you guys can hate all you want, but everybody's aware of just what I do here. You know what I mean? Like I bring so much entertainment to everybody, and so
you enjoy putting yourself over. You know.
Yeah, I'd love to get some flowers in the chat for my another amazing appearance on the WrestlePurists podcast. You know,
I doubt it.
Yeah,
I can't repeat what was just said in the chat. So, Chris, do you want to read it?
You gotta put it up.
It says Isra greater than backup Hanger brother.
Oh my God.
That is crazy, bro. I didn't even see that. Oh, I can see it now. That is crazy.
Hanger brother is crazy.
Yo, that's even crazier than when y'all niggas called me hang dork.
These are the flowers you're getting.
Dead. There's a dead flower emoji.
I forgot this nigga's an Android user.
Oh my God.
Hangman reminding us that he does not have an iPhone and has never seen a real emoji in his life.
You get tomatoes instead. Hey, tomatoes from Charlotte.
Honestly, tomatoes are not enough. Throw bricks at him.
Throw bricks.
Throw bombs at him. I want bombs in the chat.
Hangman's favorite. Hangman's favorite wrestler.
Take his life. George Hackenschmidt. Is that Ryan Satin? Where the hell is the homie AO?
No way. Let me put it up. Let me see.
Ryan Satin?
That is not the.
There's no way that's real, bro.
Could you imagine?
Ryan Satin be an AO stand would be crazy.
That would make no brick walls. You know what?
Here we go. There we go.
Alpha Omega, God bless you. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate
you. Right, let's take this home. Let's take
it. Listen, Rampage this week is 2 hours. I think that just to give you guys a preview, I think some of the stuff is going to get edited down because it was not 2 hours live. It was like 2 hours and like 35 to 40 minutes, literally, no joke. A lot of that is going to get edited down. Jungle Boy and Lee Strigsy, man, I appreciate you, brother. I like your profile picture. Yeah, this is beautiful flowers for a beautiful man like myself. Yeah, listen, Jungle Boy and Phoenix. They went like what felt like 45 minutes. Maybe it was like 28. It was really long, and I think that's going to get edited down. But you guys are in for a fun show overall. You guys are in for a fun show this Friday, and so you should look forward to that. If you guys want to follow me for more beautiful insight and just amazing selfies, just follow me at Backup Hangman on Twitter. I live tweet wrestling when I can, and I just make analytical posts and threads about the wrestling that I consume. And so if you want to just be more enlightened about that type of thing, just follow me at Twitter. Follow Chris at Chris Obred. I don't really know what Chris does, but it's very interesting on Twitter.
Chris is funny.
Sure.
On Twitter.
Follow Isra at Rollins with 2 A's. It's a lovely little I don't know what the word is for that, like a play on words there with her Twitter name. It's great. Isra's very, very funny. She has an irreverent style of humor that is very unique And I just think it's very delightful and entertaining, even if it's sometimes wrong with what she's saying. She says things in a very entertaining way that you have to experience for yourself. So follow Israel Rollins.
All right, so me and Monty have been in talks about expanding the WrestlePurists brand onto other platforms, not just the podcast, but just to create like more content. I'm like very big on TikTok. Like I spend like way too much time on there, so I feel like we're gonna start making like some TikTok content soon. Well, it's gonna be me. I don't know who else is gonna want to join in making content later on, but I'm gonna be starting a TikTok account for WrestlePurists. And I'm not sure when we're gonna start because I don't have a streaming setup. But we're like also looking at like getting started with Twitch. The girls specifically, I know AO was talking about it. But like the girls, like we want to like try to like expand and like get on Twitch and like be able to just like talk wrestling. Make content, see what you guys want to see, like whatever you want. We're open to any ideas basically, but just like keep your eyes open. Follow me so that when I post updates, you'll know all about it.
Yeah, man, there'll be some updates coming up pretty soon, especially on the TikTok side. Twitch will take a little longer because that's a lot more, it's basically like doing this.
Groundwork.
Yeah. Takes a bit more planning. The TikTok will get up pretty soon.
Yeah, for sure. And listen, what's up? What's up, Chris?
I was saying, if y'all want Unpierced to start sooner, you have to hound Rob. He is the one who is making this take so long. I don't know why, but it's him.
He's running from the grind, bro. He's running from the grind.
I don't know, bro. I have everything I need. It's just Rob.
Chris, you might have to pull in Ortiz, man, and just split off and just be in a new tag team or something, man. Like,
I'll talk to Rob, and if he's not ready by like next week, I'll just
do it
start
an
AO by myself, and I'll have AO or some other guest on, and And by the way, Unpierced is not going to be a review show. It's going to be straight. It's like a segment show.
You'll just be like you and Rob doing whatever the fuck.
Ignorance. I honestly, I'm really looking forward to the future of WrestlePurists because I think we could have a nice little podcasting network where every show has a different flavor. You have the Monday Nerd podcast, we're kind of like it's not about getting views. It's really just about getting into the nitty gritty of the nerdiness of wrestling with Monty and Joe Holbert and Manny and maybe myself occasionally. Thursday is the Crash TV podcast where we're just doing stupid shit like Chris changing his outfit 16 times in one show. And all the things that Israel's probably going to provide in the future, a potential ladies podcast, stuff with Twitch and TikTok. The future is bright, and I appreciate everybody who's been supporting what's going on right now because the train is not going to stop. You're going to want to hop on this now because you go look months ahead. It's going to be bigger than it's ever been. We're very rapidly growing. So we appreciate everybody's support. And on that note,
just saw it. Yeah. I ain't reading that out.
Put it up. Put it up. I can't see it because I can't see it. I can't see it. Hollywood was
I thought
Hollywood Hangman's
Hangman left that.
Hollywood
Hangman's token black friend. Hollywood was twerking when Paige music hit. Is it true? Were you twerking?
For Isra, Monty, Crystal Bread, I'm Hollywood Hangman Adam Pierce. We appreciate everybody watching the WrestlePurists podcast. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe.
Share this video with your friends on the timeline, everywhere you can think of. We're trying to run this up to 10K, okay?
Yes.
Y'all gotta prove you want these thirst traps bad enough.
Exactly.
No, we want 10K.
Yes.
We'll get a nice little 2.5 free.
Monty's hoping we don't get to 10K. Watch this shit get like 50,000.
No, I know when we're on to a really big one. When we have like 200 live viewers, that's when we're rolling.
We inexplicably got to 7K 2 weeks ago. So you never know, man. You never know.
This will finish on. We'll finish this live, and it will have about
1,000.
I think it will be a bit under. I think we'll be on about 700, 800 maybe, and then it will go up to about 3K. But anyway, this is boring chat for the audience. Like, subscribe, all the things that Backup Hangman just said. Yeah, man. WrestlePurists, it feels like we're finally like getting somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, man, like we said, we're adding a few more wrinkles to our game. Israel with the TikTok. Hopefully we get a female podcast going. The Unpurists with Chris, we're getting that sorted soon. Not you just said if Rob isn't sorted in the next couple of weeks, we'll just start it without him and he could just join in it.
We might have to promote Rob to WrestlePurists NXT.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
Back up Hangman Side Space tonight. Thank you guys for watching WrestlePurists. We'll talk to you guys again next week.